exactly when things went wrong. The new feature combs through photos, status updates, likes, everything that you put on Facebook in order to pinpoint how someone irreparably ruined their life. For example, it might highlight your friend's spring break trip in 2003 when she took her first shot, or your cousin's engagement to a guy named Scott spelled with a K.
So, Facebook must have a lot of depressing information to work with.
Well, we look for sadness indicators, positive versus negative adjectives and status updates, whether you've liked a corporate entity such as Walmart or Arby's.
One of LifePoint's most buzzed about features is the Life Compare function, which lets you see how your mistakes stack up to others.
Here, I'm overlaying my graph with a graph of a childhood friend. You can see his life ended up much worse than mine, which is great.
Anything with a profile has a LifePoint, so you can look forward to finding out when your favorite bands, TV shows, and companies started going downhill.
This is the Onion News Network.
Yep, we still do email. Drop your email address in the entry box at freetalklive.com, and you'll be kept in the loop with Free Talk Live. Free Talk Live.
It's Free Talk Live, talk radio you control. Call in at 603-283-6160. Bring up whatever you like. In the studio tonight is Lori,
Bonnie,
and in his normal chair, Richie Rich.
Things are back to normal again. Everything's right in the world.
Did you have a horrible off week because of that?
No.
I did, no.
I just got here and I was like, oh, nobody's here yet. I'll just sit where I want.
Without Bonnie yelling
Without
at you.
Bonnie yelling at me. And
I yelled at him and cussed him out
all the time
last week for the chair. No.
So we have a couple, maybe a few AI stories tonight to get to. We're having a little AI Stravaganza.
Ooh.
For the night. Yep. So I'm going to get into mine first, and this is from The Intercept. I'm running things.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
Credible news source.
The Pentagon wants to use AI to create deepfake internet users. The department,
as if they're not already?
As if they're not already. But so
like bots, that's the biggest complaint about social media is like all the bots.
Yeah. Yeah, there's lots of bots.
Russian propaganda and bots, chat bots everywhere.
But they want these ones to be, advanced AI bots, indistinguishable from a real person.
Okay.
For what purposes?
Propaganda.
I don't know.
If it's the Pentagon.
Yeah, maybe propaganda, maybe just spying on you, maybe lots of things.
Okay.
The Department of Defense wants technology so it can fabricate online personas that are indistinguishable from real people.
It seems like this technology already exists.
So AI currently is not good. Like chatbots, AI chatbots, you can't have like a real conversation with them because they have like a script that they follow, and you can easily trick them into revealing that they're a bot.
The ones that we have access to, but the things like Lambda, that thing seemed a lot less like a chatbot than like any of these like free apps, you can download. Definitely like the one on Snapchat, the one on, I think Twitter has one, or just these like AI girlfriends are like really bad. Definitely not indistinguishable from humans.
None of the AI that I've seen people be like, oh, I was talking to it and like I felt like it was a real person. I've never seen one that I've been like, this is a real person.
Depends what you're using it for.
Have you seen the interview with Lambda, the Google employee that said Lambda, which is the name of an AI, was conscious, and he couldn't in good conscience go or continue his work there because he believed that Lambda was really conscious and that what they were doing to her was wrong.
He not in good conscience got fired.
Yeah, and then he got fired. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, they did that interview with her, and I'm not saying I am super like not very pro AI at all, but that one was so much better than the average like chatbot that I really think that they kind of have this and the other thing is like some people are going to be better at distinguishing them than like the average social media user. And just like one message, like just one comment on a post is going to be a lot easier to make something, quote, indistinguishable from the average person to like a whole conversation if they keep replying and stuff.
I use it like an advanced search engine, right? Like if I type my search, I use the Brave browser. And there's a little button on the Brave browser that, you can get AI results. And it so I forget the word I'm looking for, but it, combines all the search results and gives you an answer to the question you're asking. And it's just like, well, this might not be the answer because it's AI.
Right, because they hallucinate.
Right. But here's the source material, like down below. Right. So this is the short answer to your question. Right. And then here's where we got the information from.
Oh, Google does that too.
Yes.
Yeah, immediately. Like, that's the first
better.
thing you get now is the AI overview.
The days they came out, oh my God, there are such hilarious bad responses, but it's definitely gotten better on Google.
Right. And if if you use it for that sort of thing, like, okay, just like when Wikipedia first came out, right? They're like, oh, it's not a real source. Can't be used now for your term papers. Right. But if you look down at the bottom, like all the information is sourced. There are links to primary sources. Just go there.
The problem with Wikipedia is that anyone can go in and alter it.
Yes, but you got
So that's why you can't use it as a source, because you don't know if somebody went in and altered it into fake news.
But it had advanced to listing primary sources. So when it first came out, yes, it's like, oh, you can't trust it. It's not a real author. It's everybody, right? But now you don't source the Wikipedia article. You go to the primary source and you go from there. And you, put that in your bibliography.
I only went to part of the semester, like most of the first semester of college, and then I dropped out. But in high school, it was just so easy. I never had to worry about that crap. It's like the first Google search that pops up, like the teacher's not even going to look at it. Like high school is just too easy. So I never I just have so many scholastic experience was the bottom of the barrel, trying my least amount of effort, and then I was valedictorian on accident. It was only 8 people in my class, but I seriously did not try at all. I tried to barely pass.
Top 13%.
I almost didn't get to graduate because I was barely there, and then they decided whatever, we don't care. Just
you were
didn't
barely
deal with
here,
it.
and you're the valedictorian.
It was crazy. I thought
That
for
is
sure.
crazy.
And the other thing was they had higher GPAs than me. But I had went to school in another state, so I had taken harder classes freshman year, and then
sounds like shenanigans.
And then I decided I'm not going to try that hard ever again. So every year after freshman year, I didn't take harder classes. But it's kind of not shenanigans because, oh my God, high school in Utah was so easy. You didn't have to do anything. So I actually
sorry, go finish.
Getting a B in an AP class in that Texas 5A school was definitely harder than getting a 100% in the Dugway High School, Utah school that was 1A.
I've got younger friends, and I've gone to high school graduations where they line up 11 valedictorians.
Wow.
You were all the top of your class.
Right. I'm like,
why?
Every single one of you.
Why? Because that's how terrible the standards have become. Someone's number one. Who's giving the speech? Right. If you're one of 11 valedictorians and you get to give the speech, you're the guy.
Eventually,
everybody else get off the stage.
Eventually, it'll just be the whole class up there.
Right.
One of the things
someone was ranked 1 and they put 11 people up there. There's got to be a tiebreaker.
That's so weird. That one thing that they that pushed me over the edge was just French. They had to do all these jumping through hoops if they wanted to take a second language course in Utah, and none of them elected to. So I took French in Texas.
I didn't know that you were allowed to opt out anywhere.
Yeah, well, I don't know, but they didn't have a French or Spanish or anything teacher there.
We had to take a second language. There was no option not to.
I had to in Texas too, and that's what I'm saying. It was night and day. I was barely at school, passed every class. I just didn't try my hardest. So I thought for sure the other kids that were and then we all took the SAT together, and they tried really hard, and they got 19s. I didn't study or do any pretest or anything, and I got a 25. That's not an amazing score. If I would have really tried, the highest score you can get on the ACT
Okay,
is
good.
a 32, I think.
25 is really low for an SAT.
Oh yeah, my bad. Because it's in the thousands.
Yes.
Yeah. They got 19s, those two, the salutatorian and third place guy that I thought would be valedictorian. So I'm just saying, I legitimately was smarter than them. So it wasn't like I somehow cheated the system, and I felt bad for taking it from them because they tried so hard.
You didn't do the scene in Mean Girls where she breaks her crown into pieces and gives it to everybody.
No,
Everyone, come on up here, all 8 of you.
Don't feel bad for being smarter than dumb people.
Yeah.
It's not that they were dumb. It's the fact that they grew up in a place
Just
that was
dumber
so
than her.
small.
Just dumb, yeah.
Dumber than me. They grew up in like the middle of nowhere.
Yes.
That's all.
Don't feel bad.
Right.
Right. Otherwise, you lower yourself to their standards, and then everything gets set to that level,
Mm-hmm.
and then nobody's elite.
Every
right.
single person except for the Down syndrome kid. There was one, so okay. There were 7 kids in my class that I was actually competing against for those grade levels because he had special education classes. I don't know what I was going to say about them. I don't want to be mean. I'm done.
So I did see a story about an AI. I forget what company it was now because I was just in passing. But they had some kind of conference and the AI got bored and like just started like scrolling around on Google Maps.
Nice.
Whoa.
Yeah. So that's kind of like advanced for AI to get bored.
At least you know what to give it to do when you go make yourself a cup of coffee.
When you leave it
alone
for a
10
million
years.
Right.
Just let it look at the map.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, you could probably be entertained by that for 10 million years.
That was my point. Like, if
Yeah, I
it's,
had Google Earth when it first came out. That was pretty fun to scroll
I
around.
still
with.
scroll around on Google Earth.
I do
I go
too.
for walks and stuff.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right.
I do the same thing. I just think like I had never thought about Azerbaijan, and the name popped up in a video I was listening to about that ancient religion that's from there, Zoroastrianism. And I was like, wait, where even is that? And I found somebody on YouTube that's from there who's really fascinating. And then I just was like walking around on Google Maps and like, it's so cool. Like I didn't know this was a thing a few days before.
Yep. So we're moving next week, and the new apartment. Like I went there and started walking around the neighborhood, like to see what things I'm gonna do, where I'm gonna go, where's all the good little walking trails and stuff.
I walked around Keene before I met Ian.
See,
It's called
great.
manifestation.
Yes. That's part of why I did it, right? Before I moved here, I also was like looking around New Hampshire. Even got my phone number set to New Hampshire. Just, you know.
Nice.
Oh, when David calls tonight, I have a couple more recommendations for him to check out places in New Hampshire.
Oh, David from Mexico
Way
or
to
New
manifest
Mexico.
that.
Oh, David calling?
Yeah.
I don't know if I have to manifest it. He just will.
Okay.
So
I think he usually listens about now too. He purposely waits to call till the end. So he might be manifested.
Yeah.
He's writing his little jokes
He's taking notes on all the things we said that he can
that
talk
will
about.
fall flat as soon as he opens his mouth.
Oh, poor David.
Most of the time I just can't tell the joke, so I'm sitting there silently and I'm like, oh, it's a joke.
See?
I'm not trying to do it to him. It's just that he has some kind of,
He's not funny. That's should not be a comedian.
I was going to say he has some kind of characteristic. Yeah, I guess it's not funny.
Not
sometimes
everyone
he's
can do
funny.
it. That's why people get paid.
It's
to
more like-
stand-up
It's true,
comedians.
yeah.
Some people are good at telling quote unquote jokes, but he is not. But in
Yes.
general, you end up laughing when you're talking to him. So maybe he is funny, but it's not, his strength isn't telling jokes.
But also, like, falling flat on jokes is its own kind of funny, too.
No.
I think so. Because
Okay.
it's like that that weird cringe, secondhand cringe feeling.
Yeah.
And
I know what you
always,
mean.
that always makes me laugh.
I don't
if
like
you're
that
a
happening
stand-up
to me.
comedian and you purposely bomb, maybe,
Yeah.
right?
I bet
Maybe
they
that's
do
his
that.
thing.
Maybe.
Maybe
But, like,
that's his brand.
But that's not. It's not a brand, right? It's like you read the crowd. I think the best example I think is like Bill Burr in Philadelphia.
I've not seen it.
Okay, so it's a thing, and like the crowd was terrible, like great comedians on stage, and they were just not having it. They were booing everybody on stage
Why would you go to a comedy show to not enjoy yourself?
because it's Philadelphia.
I've never been there.
Me either.
And so Bill Burr goes on stage, and he just unloads, doesn't tell a single joke, just insults them for like does his full set, just 20 minutes of just nonstop insults and railing on the crowd.
Nice.
And and
Azalea Banks's whole, do you know who that is?
No.
She's a female rapper.
Okay.
Azalea Banks's whole like persona now is just like insulting people in the most creative, amazing, like it's so, I would never want her to insult me. I'd have to
Okay.
like crawl in a cave and die because she like looks for what is the deepest she can hit you with, and she's so creative with it, and it's so funny and so rude.
Yes, but and that can be a thing if it's entertaining.
Yeah.
Right, but this was purposefully not entertaining. This was just to insult the crowd for being a terrible crowd, and
Well, they deserved it for being a terrible crowd.
They absolutely deserved it. So, but when you watch it, it's not funny, but it's entertaining for what it is. But he's not going to go and like do that shtick everywhere, right? Because no one would pay to have that done. That was just to get back at a bad crowd. So if you're going to tell jokes, you got to be funny. And then if it's, if the situation arises where it's like, yeah, well, okay.
I used to go to open mic nights a lot, and there was this one guy who went every single week, and he was not good. He was not funny and not good, and he just kept going back, and his sets always bombed. And I don't know how someone can just keep going. How do you keep going?
Well, because it's open mic night. That's a good place to bomb, right? Because you're trying stuff out.
Yep.
Right. Even the professional comedians, like they have their written material, and then they go do that around the nightclubs. And then, if they're good enough, right, then they get a special, and they'll try out those jokes beforehand, right? And then they'll use the ones that work in the special.
My friend sent me the video of, what's his name?
Dave Chappelle?
Sorry. Dave Chappelle last night, he has this, it's not even like stand-up, it's like a little skit in video form of him being a black man who's blind, who was in the KKK and he didn't know he was black.
Yeah, that's from the Chappelle Show.
That was so funny. Insanely funny.
Yep. But that was designed for TV. That was,
I didn't know it was the Chappelle Show, but yeah, I was like, it's not, it
There's
was
only
obviously
3 seasons. You should watch them.
Oh.
It's pretty funny.
It's hilarious.
Yeah.
You would not get that on air today.
No, you would
I
not.
know, I couldn't believe the quote-unquote offensive stuff, and it was so funny.
But that's the whole show.
Yeah, I think that's why I have such a problem with the woke thing. It's because I grew up in that time of you could just say whatever and be offensive, and that was just whatever. It's freedom of speech.
I don't know if Gen Z or Gen Alpha, whatever the current one is, if they can even handle the Bloodhound Gang.
Well, Gen
absolutely
Alpha
not.
Is 2010 to current.
Okay.
People currently being born from 2010 to now.
No, they can.
Either way, if you listen to the Bloodhound Gang, wow, this was cool.
And actually, that's a really good point, because last night me and Lori kind of got into this conversation, and I was saying how even when I was in high school, things were noticeably more chill about such things. Like, you could have a friend that's a different race and you make fun of each other for your race, but it's not actually mean-hearted, and nobody got reported to the police or whatever.
Right.
It's a hate crime now.
And it happened so quickly, because I was in high school 2011 to 2015, and it's things have changed so dramatically since then for me. I can't imagine what it's like if you were born in the 70s or something. It's probably much, much worse.
I think a lot of it,
or better. Much better if you were born in the 70s.
I think a lot of it came with the helicopter parent era.
Okay.
Telling your kids that you're super special and you're the best of all. Everyone's special.
That's how you end up with 11 valedictorians.
That's how you end up with 11 valedictorians, and how you also end up with people who can't stand differences of opinions or being offended or anything like that, because you're hurting my delicate sensibilities now, and that must be a crime because I'm special.
Or powering through failure.
Right.
Yeah,
it's
the stand-up guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sure that even the most famous people, they had to fail a lot of times.
Yeah,
yes.
it was every single
you
time.
had to be.
He didn't. Nobody laughed the whole set ever.
Oh my god! And you have to be strong to do that. So
yeah. But
I think he was just delusional.
You fail. Sometimes people fail, right? Okay, maybe this isn't for him, right? But if you're good, you fail on the small stage, and then you make it big on the big stage, and that's where you unload all the good material.
I wonder if he's still going. I wonder if he's still going and standing up there and bombing.
I had a buddy of mine who wanted to be a stand-up comedian. This is unfortunate because he was funny, and he's like, "Rich, I want you to be my manager." I'm like, "Dude, I'm in. Let's go." And I booked him. I actually booked a show for him at a Rotary Club. I got him 5 minutes during a Rotary Club meeting. I didn't get to go to the meeting because I'm not in the Rotary Club, but I knew a guy who was like, "Hey, I got a buddy who wants to do this." He went up, he did his 5 minutes, he killed it, and then retired.
Why?
100% success rate
at Rotary clubs. Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it was the ADD or the ADHD. He found
what exactly is Rotary Club? I've passed one before, and they had these really cool sculptures outside the front that all had to do with wheels. Does it actually have to do with wheels?
I really don't know.
Oh
yeah,
yeah,
I'm not in the
I have
club.
no idea either.
We can look it up.
What a weird thing to be based on is those things in a factory that are corks,
like gears.
Gears, wheels of all kinds were in the yard, and I was like, what is this? And then I saw the sign for the Rotary Club. I was like, oh, so that they're paying homage to at least the name, but I don't know what it actually is.
Well, Freemasons, right? They get a bad rap because the Illuminati and cults and whatever, but that's what's a legitimate profession. You have to be skilled at what you did to be a high level Freemason. It means you were good working with stones.
And I can't remember exactly, but apparently the word free in it was like basically being somebody who was so good that they could like work on their own instead of be like in a company. So they were like even better than the average Mason at the time that they named themselves that.
Or the Shriners.
I don't know.
I don't know what they do either.
They build hospitals.
What about
That's it?
Oddfellows?
I don't know what the
I don't know.
Oddfellows do either.
I'm just saying all these
They're
things are
weird.
weird. Yeah, but like the Rotary Club, it was probably a profession at some point, and still might be. Right? I don't know
No
what it takes
idea.
to join.
I don't know.
Another
All I know about the Shriners is they have the little hats and have the little cars in the parades. That's it. That's
Yeah, me
the
too.
only thing I know.
But they build hospitals for kids.
Another way to like bomb and it be funny is if you, oh my God, this is like, you have to be really smart to think up a joke like this. Like if your plan is for the crowd to react away, but that plays into the joke. Like there's this guy in New Hampshire. I wonder if I am allowed to say this on the air.
Just don't say the words.
Okay, well, he says, anyone want to play the grape game? Want to play the grape game? But he's not saying grape.
Okay.
And then everybody's like, no. And he says, that's the spirit.
I've heard that joke before.
Oh, really? That's like a already known joke?
Yeah.
Yep. I don't know. I haven't actually seen him do it. Maybe he has his own twist on it. I don't know.
Maybe. Everything is reductive. There's nothing, no new ideas anymore. We've all been around too long.
Or it's built
As
on
humans.
into,
It's like
built on
all
other things.
style anymore is like, this is 70s inspired. This is 50s inspired. Like there's not going to be anything new. It's so weird. Or I'm like afraid there's not going to be anything new.
I'm sure there will be. Because we haven't done like futuristic era yet. Like no one's dressed up like, what's the movie with
Coneheads?
I almost said Coneheads. I've never even seen it, and somehow I almost said Coneheads too.
No, The Fifth Element. Like the Fifth Element.
Yes. I love that movie.
Yeah. And we haven't done the Mad Max season yet.
That is a masterpiece.
I would love for Mad Max fashion to come in.
That's kind of funny you say
I'd
that.
be so pumped to just like drape myself head to toe in like spikes and fur. Cool.
Like steampunk or something? Is that what they are?
It's like apocalyptic.
I feel like that's more like 80s biker style.
It's funny
Yeah,
you say that
maybe.
though, because the Quills Halloween party this year, I totally disagree with the idea of having telling your guests what to wear on a Halloween party. That's weird. But
That is weird. It's Halloween.
But their theme is
party.
Mad Max.
Yeah, but a theme party is like
you can do that any
any
year.
time of year. Yeah, and
Yeah.
Halloween is just Halloween.
Yeah.
The theme is
People are like
Halloween.
All right.
looking forward to what they're going to wear to Halloween
Yeah.
all year. This year,
We just
I don't
go to
really
that
have.
party.
I don't
Go
have
to
a
party.
I'm
thing
not
to
gonna.
do yet. Once I find a thing to do, I'm going to wear a German beer outfit or beer girl outfit.
Nice. Yep.
And
You
it's gonna
should
be so
find
pretty.
a glass shaped like a boot and then do it to German girl at Beer Fest.
Why didn't I think?
Das
I didn't even
Boot.
think of that yet. Of that, like getting a beer
Stein.
cup or whatever. Yeah. I didn't even think of that yet. I was just thinking wearing the dress.
You'll have to watch Beer Fest and learn how to drink it.
Yes.
Oh no! I have a friend whose mom is from Poland, and she can pour a beer into the back, like pour it into her stomach, basically. Like she doesn't have to swallow until like the end, I guess. She
Why are you putting
has the
swallow
thing
in quots?
She-
Gotta get down there. Something.
because I don't even think she actually has to swallow.
She just
pours
absorbs it.
She pours it into her throat, and it's crazy. It happened in like 2.5 seconds.
Beer's gross. 603-283-6160. It's Free Talk Live.
The Onion looks back at this week in history. On May 6, 1937, the explosion of the German passenger ship Hindenburg brought cheer to an entire generation of Americans in the midst of the Great Depression. The souls of the American people were fleetingly revitalized by the flame-engulfed Zeppelin and the shrill screams of burning passengers leaping to their heartwarming deaths.
Oh my, it's burst into flames! The burning embers and charred flesh are cascading splendidly onto the mooring mast. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the most terrific thing I've ever seen! Oh, the luminosity, the gaiety!
And on May 7th, 2000, Vladimir Putin became president of Russia after promising citizens he could bend anything they gave him with just his bare hands. And that was what happened this week in history. In the words of the Italian philosopher Niccolo Machiavelli, whoever wants to foresee the future must first look at the past and then imagine all that old stuff looking more futury and space-like.
From Feature Story News in Washington, I'm Jagruti Dave. With just over a week to go until Election Day, Donald Trump and Kamala Harris have been crossing the United States, making their final pitches to voters. The latest polls indicate the race is still effectively a dead heat. Both Donald Trump and Kamala Harris ended the weekend with rallies, but while the Republican chose to hold his at the iconic Madison Square Garden in the thus far solidly blue state of New York, Kamala Harris picked the crucial swing state of Pennsylvania. On Saturday in Michigan, another swing state, Donald Trump tried to reach out to Muslim voters, disillusioned with the White House over its approach to the Israel-Gaza war. And while Donald Trump made his closing argument in his hometown on Sunday, Kamala Harris will be making hers on Tuesday at the Ellipse here in Washington, D.C. More than 38 million people have already cast their ballots, but according to the polls, they're neck and neck in the 7 swing states that will determine the result of this race. Iran has vowed to respond to Saturday's retaliatory strikes by Israel on Tehran. Iran, however, says it doesn't want a war, with more Gaza ceasefire negotiations planned in Doha. Sarah Coates has more from Tel Aviv.
We did hear from the Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, whose first public statements after Saturday's attacks on Iran. He said he's happy with the result, also saying, whoever hurts us, we will hurt them. We do also understand that these senior Israelis also have spoken with senior US counterparts about strategic opportunities with regards to these strikes. But really the concern here is that this once shadow war is now very much in the open. It's still unclear as to whether the Iranians will in fact respond.
And exit polls show Japan's ruling party is projected to lose its parliamentary majority after the country went to the polls. Rebecca Bundan reports from Tokyo.
This election is really seen as a major test for the ruling LDP and for Japan's new Prime Minister, Shigeru Ishiba, who only came to power a few weeks ago when he was elected as a leader by the party. And he actually called this snap election, but it's something that could potentially backfire for him, and especially from the exit polls that we're seeing coming through so far, it looks like that could well be the case, that the party could lose seats, and that's due to several factors, including scandals that have really plagued the party, including in particular a political fundraising scandal. And there are other issues that voters have been concerned about as well, which have perhaps led some people to vote differently, and that includes issues around the economy. Particularly inflation has been a big challenge for citizens.
Got Telegram? You can follow our channel there and discuss show prep with other listeners at telegram.freetalklive.com.
It's Free Talk Live, talk radio you control. Call in at 603-283-6160. Not your keys, not your Bitcoin is a lesson that too many people have learned the hard way. It's always best to get your crypto into a wallet that you control, but not all wallets are equal. Many of our hosts have been using Edge for years to manage crypto, and there just aren't many wallets to compare. Featuring a unique login system that makes it easier for you to access your crypto from multiple devices, Edge is designed to be user-friendly. In a space that can be notoriously difficult for non-tech people, Edge is a valuable tool for novices and experts alike. You can learn more at edge.app, which features a link at the top for those who wish to learn more about crypto and wallets. Thank you to Edge for sponsoring Free Talk Live for $1,500 a month. And again, to learn more, visit edge.app. In the studio is Lori,
Bonnie,
and Richie Rich.
I'm glad I don't have to say Aunt Bonnie anymore.
Aunt Bonnie.
Aunt Bonnie.
I know that aunt is definitely more correct, and I still need to say aunt.
It's only correct.
It doesn't sound
it's not more
right
correct.
to me.
It is correct.
I'm not. It doesn't sound right to me just because that's how I grew up saying it as aunt. But I'm rationally understand aunt makes sense.
It's a silent U.
I just can't say
not. There's no such thing.
And like coupon is spelled coupon, but that's so disgusting to me. I could not say coupon. It's coupon to me, but I know rationally that that's wrong. And I don't even know how you'd spell coupon.
Q-U-P-O-N.
Q-U-E-P-O-N, yeah, something like that. But
The
coupon
U after
is
Q
ugly.
is redundant, generally. If it always follows, you don't need it.
No, because it'd be capon if it was...
It'd be capon.
Yeah.
No, it wouldn't have to be. You just pronounce the Q part with when you see the Q.
I don't know why there's a U
I don't
after the
either.
Q.
Never looked into that.
Again, it's redundant. And if you wanted to pronounce it with the hard sound, you'd either use
QK,
K.
like
Yeah.
CK?
Yeah. Or just K.
Well, QK, that's...
No, don't put a QK. Just put K.
I thought you were saying QK. Oh, okay.
No.
I see.
Yeah.
We
Why
have
do we-
letters that make these sounds.
What do
Yeah,
you
yeah.
need
one
the
that makes
QU
the sound.
for, right?
I
We
don't
already
know.
have K.
Yeah,
C
is
could
also
just
redundant.
be Q by itself, yeah.
Why is C redundant?
because you have S and K.
But
it
you don't
makes
have
S-
anything that makes the ch sound except for CH.
Yeah.
That would either be KH or SH, or probably KH then. You can do what you
I think
want.
that'd be like...
But
No,
KH is
no,
already
you
a
would just
thing
learn
that's
to pronounce
just... No, KH is already a thing. I just can't think of a word right now with it.
Kazakhstan.
Oh,
a
okay.
silent H. You don't need it.
You just don't like
pronounce
silent
that
words.
Kazakhstan.
You just don't like silent words. Or letters, I mean.
Again,
Words.
redundant and unnecessary.
I
It'd
agree.
be kind of funny if there were silent words. That's so stupid.
There are. Lots of them.
Go on.
So the things left unsaid, those are the silent words.
Oh, I see.
Things you don't say. Oh, and American Sign Language. Silent words.
Oh, wow. Nice recovery.
Yeah,
Here's
yeah.
the sound
All
of-
right.
Thanks.
That's
good radio.
That's a sound.
All right, so we have a call because I have summoned David from New Mexico. Hi, David.
Dun, dun, dun.
Manifested.
A castrated male chicken.
See? Terrible joke. And Bonnie's giving you a sympathy laugh.
I just am laughing because it was so confusing. That's more like why I'm laughing.
Well, why are you talking about castrated male chickens then, Bonnie?
What are you talking about? Coupon?
Capons.
Oh, capons.
Wow. I was at just a guess.
Is that a castrated male chicken? Is that the word for it? Okay.
I
My
trust
jokes
you.
are for IQ 160 and above.
Oh my God.
So what phone number do I call for that program?
Does that really have anything to do with IQ, like having memorization of a chicken fact?
No, well, that's not what I was.
Call
Bonnie,
Chicken
Bonnie,
Facts Talk Live.
You just proved my point. I wasn't talking about the chicken thing. I was talking about the preferred humor for each individual.
Well, you didn't say that.
Well, it was. Yes, I did. It was implied, Bonnie, and you didn't get it. Zoom right over your head.
Oh, yeah. Your jokes just go over every other person's head because your IQ is 160.
Your IQ's 150, Bonnie, so zoom right over.
No, it's not.
Is
I
there
really
only
doubt it.
160
Bonnie is
IQs?
113.
150 would, I don't know where you got 113. I haven't taken an IQ test, but
From the
150 would be like,
25th. You stated it on air. You told everybody what your IQ is when you gave your test score. Of course, you weren't trying.
oh,
So you weren't trying. You
ACT
probably
is
could've
I would believe that if ACT being 25 meant that my IQ, does your IQ stay stagnant your whole life?
No.
Because that was when I was 18. So I could totally believe my IQ being 113 when I was 13, like just barely above average. Because I'm not trying to say I'm
Right.
so smart for beating 7 kids at being valedictorian. It's just a fact that I am slightly smarter than them. And so I deserve to be valedictorian, even though I didn't try.
The problem with the IQ test is age is factored in. So the older you are, the lower your score is for an equal level of intelligence.
That is kind of... So you're just like a prodigy. You get higher if you're
If you're younger.
Well, I guess it
Yeah,
kind
that's
of
the
makes
whole
sense.
gifted kid joke.
I guess it kind of does make
No, it
sense,
doesn't.
though.
It's an
Well-
intelligent quotient.
Well, like
you're
if
either
you've had...
this level of intelligent or you're not.
But if you had 90 years to get to whatever 130, and then 15-year-old gets to 130, I feel
you
like
still
it's more.
have the same level of intelligence.
But as we said, it's not stagnant. So when they're older, when that person's the same age as the 50-year-old or whatever I said,
it should go up if he's smarter.
then it's more impressive. Then yeah, his will go up. That's what I'm guessing.
Your
No,
IQ
it
has
goes
nothing to
down.
do with like how many things you know. though.
Yeah, but like more experience and time to train your brain at things.
Yeah.
Would hopefully increase your score.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Your
But
score
it's
would
not.
increase, so he
But
is
it
smarter.
doesn't. No, they lower the older score. It's
But
like
I just asked
handicap.
if it stays stagnant. I've never taken a test, and you said it does
doesn't.
not.
It not only does it not stay stagnant,
It goes down.
they handicap it based on age. So if a 90-year-old and a 15-year-old are equally intelligent, the 15-year-old will have a higher IQ.
And then I'm saying, by the time that 15-year-old is 90, I bet their IQ will be higher than that 90-year-old's was when he was 90.
He didn't even use the proper terminology, so what does that mean about his IQ?
I don't know. I didn't
Average.
miss that. Yeah, I just assume I'm average.
What proper terminology am I missing?
You said, well, the last statement you made about if the two age things, you can say it again. I won't put words in your mouth.
Okay.
But you used the word intelligent, which is the wrong word in that case. It should have been something more like knowledge.
Okay.
Knowledgeable.
No, because we're comparing intelligence, right? If a 15-year-old and a 90-year-old are equally intelligent,
is not knowledge.
Okay.
Intelligence is not knowledge.
Then it should have the same score.
Well, make a statement and say it over again.
If a 15-year-old and a 90-year-old are of equal intelligence, they should have the same IQ score, and they don't.
Yeah, if they're of the same intelligence, then they will have the same intelligence quotient. Yes.
No, because the 90-year-old is handicapped down.
See, that's the error you made. If they have the same knowledge, and they're different ages.
No, if they take the same test and score the same way on the test, when they do the final score, the 90-year-old is handicapped because of his age.
That's what I just said.
That's what I'm saying. They handicap.
Yeah, but you use but are you talking in English?
Yes, that's the only language I know.
Then you have to use the proper English words. Otherwise, you're not properly using the English language.
But you haven't said. I still don't understand. What word is Richie Rich saying wrong in English?
The difference between intelligence versus knowledge.
No, I'm saying if a 90-year-old and a 15-year-old both take an IQ test.
No, we've been here before. Moving on. Three slugs walk into a bar.
Another bad joke. And Bonnie already laughed, and there's no
I'm
punchline.
not laughing at the joke. I'm like shocked. I'm shocked at how good we are at predicting this. I'm just shocked at
IQ 150.
It's not a joke,
Predict
Bonnie.
the future.
Three slugs walk into a bar. It's not a joke.
That's the end of it?
No,
are you calling us slugs?
It's definitely not funny.
It's you guys after the show. It wasn't a joke. I was just talking, it's like talking about your plans.
And you're calling us slugs.
No, it's a joke, Bonnie. Even though it wasn't
It's
a joke.
the improper use of the English language, because we're not slugs.
Yeah,
we're human beings.
It's also improper use of the telephone and the internet and time and everything else.
Hey, David.
So, what?
So there's a place that I found.
Tell me.
It's
Tell me.
It's called Madame Cherie Forest.
Is that a brothel?
It's not a brothel. So
oh damn it!
I don't have that here.
I mean, maybe you could turn it into a brothel if you try hard enough.
I'm good at that.
Yeah.
Madam, how do you spell Cherie? It's like Sherry, only you're being all fancy.
Yeah. It's SHERRI.
Madam Cherie Forest. Okay,
yeah, but she's like all Frenchy and a madam.
Yeah, but we're rednecks, dude. So and some of us are even white trash. So man, I'm looking it up right now. So tell me more.
So it's a 847 acre,
ooh, and it's got a cool Roman architecture thing.
Yeah, it was a castle. So
what town do you know? Or
it's in Chesterfield, I think.
That's not far.
Yeah, no, it's right down the road from here.
Wow, and hadn't heard of this.
Mountain. I want a mountain. I want David's mountain.
Mm-hmm. So this lady, she bought all of this land and built herself like this big Roman castle and lived out there in the middle of the woods. But now it's like, it's all trails and stuff. She's dead. So, and it's all.
But it retained the name.
Sold it. If she wouldn't have sold it, she'd still be alive because it says the day after the property was officially sold, Madame Cherie died.
Yeah, the lady was like, "Oh, I'll take care of this property for you," and then she died the next day.
That's an improper use of causation and correlation.
It was intentional, so therefore it's funny.
So,
nobody
therefore
left.
It's not.
So I think that would be an interesting place to go visit because it looks really cool.
That does look really cool. And it's really
It
close.
also looks really creepy, and it's Halloween. Let's go.
Mm-hmm. Mark lived in Chesterfield.
And then there's another place called...
Let's go right now. Take the program with you and do it live.
It's 25 minutes from where we sit.
Bring your Blair Witch cameras with you.
Maybe it is haunted.
So there's another one.
It's haunted. The lady died the day after she sold it. Of course it's haunted.
Of course it is. Everything in New England is haunted, don't you know?
There has to be a pattern.
Bonnie doesn't.
Like if the next guy sells it.
113.
and dies.
Huh?
Well, it's all ruins now, so no one's going to buy it.
Who owns the land?
I don't know.
If the state owns
Where
land, they
the hell
should
did all
definitely
those
sell it and
stones
die.
go?
Yeah, I agree. So the other one is actually in Brattleboro, but that's just down the street from here. It's
That's the wrong state.
25 minutes away. It's 20, but he just wants things to do around here.
Oh.
And it's called the Retreat Tower, and it's an old asylum that is now like a state. There's a farm
Like the
there.
one I moved out of?
Yeah, it's not an asylum anymore, but there's like a big tower there that you can go to.
Well, I need an asylum.
From the old spooky asylum.
The Retreat Tower?
Mm-hmm. That's also like acres and acres and acres of trails there too.
Don't get lost.
There's a cemetery and like a big tower that they used to put the asylum patients in.
This says that this is from
Yeah.
some kind of, I've already lost what it's from. It's from some kind of college board. This says a 25 on the ACT is 120 IQ, and a 19, which is what the second place people got, is 104. So David was
That's
wrong.
fine. I thought 113 was too low anyway. So when I looked it up on the internet versus when you looked it up on the internet, the results I got probably weren't as accurate as the results you got.
I looked for something more. Here it is. It says, based on data provided by the college board. Whatever that is.
Reputable source.
Well, the one that he was referencing was like Google AI when it first pops up. First thing that pops up.
Well, I just read from the one. Yeah, I read that, but I just keep reading down until I find something that looks plausible and accurate.
Oh, the AI thing, yeah. I basically have been doing the same thing recently. If the AI thing looks plausible and accurate, I'll go with that.
It's a good way to bias your results.
What?
I don't believe this.
Oh, I
I'll
see.
find something that matches with what I'm already thinking.
Good point.
So you're supposed to suspend judgment when you're doing research.
No, primary
are you?
sources, man. What did I say earlier?
Well, AI,
Yeah, but
I think it does.
I don't want to be an academic like you. I'm not into that.
I think the Google AI is doing the same thing. So let's see if I can get like what. I'll Google what color paint is orangest.
Like if I describe a movie
Yep,
to
I got
AI
you.
and it
I
comes
don't
back,
think orangest is a word.
Just wanted
Most
to have something.
orange.
Yeah.
Oh, it does. It does. It does the same thing. So it's like Wikipedia. It'll give you its answer, but then it has its
Yeah.
primary sources.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like if I ask AI, if I like describe a movie to AI
And it's using
and
the
it
word
gives me the
oranges.
movie, right? I don't need to check it. I go, oh, that's the movie. That's the movie I was thinking of.
It's so funny. It's
Right?
using the word orangest in its reply. It says, a pink color considered the, quote, orangest, and it has quotes around it, is typically called cadmium orange.
Because they were like, that's how she wrote it, so she'll understand.
Yes. And then they described what she meant by orangest.
Mm-hmm.
The
I didn't actually think it's a
orangistiest.
word. I was just doing something really fast and I thought it was funny.
I'm just telling you that's why you got it in there.
It's just funny.
In the
And
words
it's
of Don King, if I can say it and you know what it means, it's a word.
orangest. And that's what cadmium orange is. Who says that?
I had a
Nobody.
beer with
Everyone
Mike
just says
Tyson.
orangest.
Isn't that a cadmium? I accidentally said with an N. Isn't that a heavy metal?
Mm-hmm. Band.
Is it
Yeah.
orange?
Heavy metal band.
Cadmium orange. You're going to name your band Cadmium Orange? With
It would be heavy
orangest.
metal.
So how's your living situation going, David? Is everything wonderful? Are you best friends with your neighbors now?
Oh, thank you for reminding me. I was going to tell you all about it. Cuatro.
They have a fourth.
Oh, they got a quad wide.
Oh, that's what I was trying to say.
I
A fourth
manifested it on the show.
Mobile
Did you really?
home.
I was talking about how they were going to get a quad wide, I think.
Whoa.
Is it a square now?
It rolled in on Saturday. When
They
did
have
I
a
talk to you
courtyard
last?
now.
That would be cool. I totally want a courtyard. If I get to design my own house, it's going to have a
Yeah,
courtyard.
Me
No,
too.
they're too-
But would you
they're
design
too
it with
retarded
4
to have a
mobile
courtyard.
homes?
Well, not with mobile homes.
They are too retarded to even think of that, Bonnie.
Oh
Because
my
the average
God.
IQ in Mexico is what, 85?
I don't know.
No.
They put like 3 of them in a line that's not really even lined up. It's
Sorry,
kinda
isn't the average IQ 100 on the whole planet?
No.
They made an L.
I don't know why I thought it was.
No, they didn't even. They're not even smart enough to make an
Oh.
L. They put 87. It looks like a bunch of. It looks like a train wreck, a bunch of derailed freight cars that kind of, crashed off the tracks, and they lined up in there's 3 of them that are kind of in a line, but they're staggered. They're not lined up with each other exactly.
Maybe
and
that's
then there's one that's offset from that.
Maybe that's their aesthetic.
You're seeing like the middle of the process.
Mexicans, they have no aesthetic.
It's like when they get the 5th one, then it'll be like a pentagon. I'm like, oh, that's what they were doing.
Mm-hmm.
This mishmash didn't make sense until they add one.
They wanted a pentagon.
That sounds more like it because these people do look like that type. Santeria.
David believes it because they're out there chanting at night and like lighting effigies.
What's with that Mexican voice anyway?
You kind of talk like you're from Mexico sometimes. Like I swear, sometimes you have like a like Mexican accent, David.
That's because I imitate people.
I feel like it's when you're not trying. Did you ever have a Minnesota accent? Minnesota accent?
I must have. Well, actually, no, because when I was in Minnesota, when I lived in Minnesota, people in Minnesota were constantly asking me, "Are you from Canada?" Because I said house and dollar.
House, yeah. Cooch instead of couch. Cooch instead of couch bothers me. Yeah. Me and my sister had to pause.
Maybe that's what JD Vance was doing.
Bonnie, what's a cooch? Bonnie, what is a cooch?
A couch.
Well, on some ladies, it's as big as a couch.
I was watching a YouTube video of this girl named Katrina, and she is from Canada. She's a singer, and she kind of annoys me and my sister anyway, but she was talking.
She had some waves with her?
She said cooch when she meant couch, and like we had to like pause the video and be like, I can't listen to this girl talk anymore. If you're going to call a couch a cooch, that's just like disturbs me. The other thing that I learned...
I need to fix my roof on my house.
I was talking to my Canadian friend about the Titanic. I was like, what's that about?
Oh, a boat.
David didn't laugh. I'm surprised because that's totally on brand for...
Because I didn't hear it. I was too busy saying, ruff, ruff, ruff.
I'm not going to retell the joke. Listen to the archives. Yep. If Bonnie posts it.
Well, my internet is acting up, so there will be no archives. You can tell it to me now.
Oh, there will be.
Yeah.
I never really thought about like what is the 100 IQ average for? I just like would have thought the United States, but I didn't know. Well, I googled it, and like Japan is way higher. It's 106 is their average, and we're basically all of us are going off the average in Germany because theirs is closest to 100. It's 100.74.
What is the average here?
Oh, I gotta find that.
Was that before or after they expelled the Jewish people?
I don't know.
Because if they would have kept them, it would have been higher.
I gotta find the United States.
David?
I don't think they expelled the Jewish people. First of all, we get it. You open up a whole can of worms. We have to to define what is a Jewish person, and then we got to confirm whether or not the Germans expelled them, or if they self-expelled.
No, the question of who's a Jewish person is actually really crazy. It gets so in the weeds and confusing.
I would say that expelled is maybe the wrong word.
Exterminate?
Also. Yeah.
Okay. That's well, I mean, some left.
Well, wait a minute. See, now you have controversy as well.
It's the wooden doors.
Oh, United States. Oh, can I? Sorry, David. The United States.
Go ahead. No, I don't want to talk about killing Jews anyway. I'd rather talk about fun stuff with Bonnie.
The United States.
I was talking about that in relation to IQ.
Their average IQ in the United States, the average is 97.43.
It's good enough to be valedictorian in most places.
How people behave. That's pretty high for how people behave on average.
I guess the closest to
I was
100...
surprised. Like, I would think it would be lower because most people I meet are not very smart.
The most close to 100 is actually Estonia at 100.72.
I don't know anything about Estonia except for I love the name of that country.
I love it too, and I had a favorite pop star named Curly. It's spelled like curly with a K. And she...
you don't need to see.
That's the only reason I learned about Estonia when I was younger.
You do for like chain.
Bonnie.
No, again, KH.
Yeah.
Bonnie. Well, first of all, Beer Fest was filmed here, but I wanted to ask you: are you going to be for Halloween? Did you say you're going to be a Beer Fest girl? Because you should be Wednesday Addams.
No, I don't want to be that.
That's too cliche.
The thing is, I thought about it, but for one thing, there was the recent movie, so it is extra cliche or like extra overdone. Yeah. And the other thing is, I don't like the look of that Jenna Ortega girl, and I don't even want to get remotely compared to her.
I'm not picturing Jenna or
if she was only Ortega, Christina
Ricci.
There we go.
2 C's.
I would be happier with that.
I was in
Oh, yeah.
I'm thinking of the original, but I was in Jenna Ortega's bedroom when she was like 15.
Why?
Yeah, that is
because
shouldn't be admitting that on national
you're
radio.
implicating yourself.
Because we'll talk to her parents. She was broadcasting it on Periscope.
What do you mean? Tell us what that means.
What means?
Why were you there?
I said because she was broadcasting it on Periscope.
So you weren't actually in the room.
So you were just watching the stream.
Certainly I was in the room. I mean, you're there. The camera's right there, so you're there too. That's
No,
how that
you're
works.
not.
I don't think that's how it works, David.
You still haven't visited New Hampshire, even though you're on the phone with us.
I watched the moon landing on TV. I've never been to the moon.
Well, I would disagree, but
I'm sure
anyway,
you would.
You can believe what you want to believe.
87.
I think David's bringing down the average IQ in New Mexico. Just kidding.
That would be.
He's
pretty
bringing down
hard
the average
to do,
IQ of his own
Bonnie.
neighborhood, and he's living next to Mexicans.
That would be pretty hard to do, Bonnie.
Oh, I know. That was why it was funny.
Well, it's not funny to me. It hits home.
It's insulting.
You offended me. Hurt my feelings.
Oh, I'm just kidding. It's so annoying that
I
Canada
know.
has a
So
higher
am I.
IQ
So
than
am I.
us on
I
average.
don't care.
Canada's is 99.52.
Even the Canucks are smarter than us.
Is that
That's why we let him in.
I really like their
Yeah,
accents.
I don't like them.
Canadians?
I don't like.
Yeah.
There's tons of words.
Canada, Minnesota, all of that.
Okay.
There are some words I
Wisconsin.
like,
Yeah.
but I cannot deal with cooch.
Can I borrow
I
a
can almost
dollar,
barely
eh?
deal with a boot. And I had a friend from Minnesota, and it's much better, more fun.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Minnesota's more entertaining. I can't even do it anymore, but like Fargo, which is actually how, especially middle-aged
North
ladies
Dakota.
from the rural areas are the worst ones at talking like that.
I also had a boss from North Dakota, and hers was almost like Minnesota, but just way more subtle. And I really actually liked hearing her talk.
Yeah, I really like them. It sounds all folksy and kind.
It did. She
Aw.
literally was like kind and exuded kindness.
So Canadians are really just mean. They just sound nice.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
It's true.
Okay. I
didn't know
They're
they're
not
really mean.
actually. They're not actually like the stereotypical like, oh, I'm so sorry. Like that's not real. I used to like Xbox Live game with a bunch of Canadians. And brutal.
Okay.
Are their heads
That's
square?
true everywhere.
Yeah.
Xbox Live was like the impetus for all online insults.
I miss it so much. 603-283-6160. I don't have time for that. Call in and get on the radio.
Why did you move to the Shire?
I moved here to the Shire because there's other people around who take liberty just as seriously as I do.
I moved to the Shire because I saw videos of people challenging authority and thought that I could get support myself. It called to me, like, do this, right now.
I wanted to be around people like me who got it, and once I got here, I knew there was nowhere else that I wanted to be.
I've always wanted to change the world, so I moved to the Shire to join people who were actually working towards doing the same thing.
The people here are awesome, loving, and positive. It was for the adventure and for the feeling of something important is happening here, and I just wanted to come to sort of be part of that.
Visit ShireSociety.com to read and sign the Shire Society Declaration and learn the reasons why, if you love liberty, you should immigrate to the Shire. Plus, connect with others via the forum at ShireSociety.com. That's ShireSociety.com.
My name is Jacob Hornberger. I'm president of the Future of Freedom Foundation, which Congressman Ron Paul awarded for having an outstanding freedom website. Write us at fff@fff.org, and we'll send you a free 3-month subscription to our monthly journal of libertarian essays and our booklet, Economic Liberty in the Constitution, which George Mason University economics professor Walter Williams praised in a recent column. That's fff@fff.org.
What if you want to hear the latest episode of Free Talk Live, but all you have is your phone, you forgot to download our archive, and you have no data connection? You can call our Listen line at 641-793-0191. That's a long-distance number, so you may incur charges. If not, listen as long as you want. 641-793-0191. The Free Talk Live Listen line, 641-793-0191.
You're listening to the live edition of Free Talk Live. Hour number 2 is next after the news here on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
From Feature Story News in Washington, I'm Jagruti Dave. With just over a week to go until Election Day, Donald Trump and Kamala Harris have been crossing the United States, making their final pitches to voters. The latest polls indicate the race is still effectively a dead heat. Both Donald Trump and Kamala Harris ended the weekend with rallies, but while the Republican chose to hold his at the iconic Madison Square Garden in the thus far solidly blue state of New York, Kamala Harris picked the crucial swing state of Pennsylvania. On Saturday in Michigan, another swing state, Donald Trump tried to reach out to Muslim voters, disillusioned with the White House over its approach to the Israel-Gaza war. And while Donald Trump made his closing argument in his hometown on Sunday, Kamala Harris will be making hers on Tuesday at the Ellipse here in Washington, D.C. More than 38 million people have already cast their ballots, but according to the polls, they're neck and neck in the 7 swing states that will determine the result of this race. Iran has vowed to respond to Saturday's retaliatory strikes by Israel on Tehran. Iran, however, says it doesn't want a war, with more Gaza ceasefire negotiations planned in Doha. Sarah Coates has more from Tel Aviv.
We did hear from the Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, whose first public statements after Saturday's attacks on Iran. He said he's happy with the result, also saying, whoever hurts us, we will hurt them. We do also understand that these senior Israelis also have spoken with senior US counterparts about strategic opportunities with regards to these strikes. But really the concern here is that this once shadow war is now very much in the open. It's still unclear as to whether the Iranians will in fact respond.
And exit polls show Japan's ruling party is projected to lose its parliamentary majority after the country went to the polls. Rebecca Bundan reports from Tokyo.
This election is really seen as a major test for the ruling LDP and for Japan's new Prime Minister, Shigeru Ishiba, who only came to power a few weeks ago when he was elected as a leader by the party. And he actually called this snap election, but it's something that could potentially backfire for him, and especially from the exit polls that we're seeing coming through so far, that it looks like that could well be the case, that the party could lose seats, and that's due to several factors, including scandals that have really plagued the party, including in particular a political fundraising scandal. And there are other issues that voters have been concerned about as well, which have perhaps led some people to vote differently, and that includes issues around the economy. Particularly inflation has been a big challenge for citizens in Japan, including high electricity prices.
From bureaus worldwide, this is FSN.
With FSN Spotlight, I'm Simon Marks, looking today in more detail at a decision by India and China to bury the hatchet over a border dispute that has lasted since the 1960s. They have agreed to deconfliction along the so-called line of control that separates the two countries in the mountains of the Himalayas. They have engaged in a military standoff in that icy, inhospitable terrain for decades. But analyst Bob McMahon of America's Council on Foreign Relations says the agreement could be the beginning of the standoff's end.
It's the first time in more than 5 years that they had formal talks. They've had informal talks, but these were formal talks they had on the sidelines of the BRICS summit, and details are still to come, and those are going to be really important to watch. But this line of actual control, which is more than 2,100 miles, they are now saying they will jointly patrol contested areas. These were what you would call confidence building measures, because both sides have been building things like roads, seen as the run up to seizing more territory or bringing in more military materiel and so forth to be able to beef up their presence and create facts on the ground for what they claim to be their place. It's still a long road ahead for them to get into any sort of process where they can actually mark out an agreed upon border. But it's still in all really important.
The deal was announced at the BRICS summit last week in the Russian city of Kazan, and it was partly brokered by Russian President Vladimir Putin after several rounds of talks over many weeks. With FSN Spotlight, I'm Simon Marks.
The main headlines again. With just over a week to go until Election Day, Donald Trump and Kamala Harris have been crossing the United States, making their final pitches to voters. Iran has vowed to respond to Saturday's retaliatory strikes by Israel on Tehran. And exit polls show Japan's ruling party is projected to lose its parliamentary majority.
Allison Fry and Peter Hartman are a long-term couple. They've been trying out an open relationship that frees them to emotionally burden and exhaust other people.
We're both grown-ups. We both trust each other. It just seemed like the right time to open ourselves up to meeting other people and barraging them with our crippling emotional neediness.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. I still want to vent to Allison about all the anxieties I have at the office until she wishes I would just shut the up. But sometimes you just get the urge to sap the life out of a different woman for a change.
The flexible arrangement has allowed Fry and Hartman to participate in a variety of tiresome and psychologically draining one-off encounters with partners ranging from close acquaintances to total strangers.
Of course, there was a time when I couldn't imagine saddling anyone but Peter with my extensive emotional baggage and trust issues, but now that we've tried it...
The best part is, when we're back together, all we really want to do is drain the living out of each other.
This is the Onion News Network.
Our Matrix server is about as free as internet chat can be. Join the existing rooms or create your own at chat.freetalklive.com. Free Talk Live.
It's Free Talk Live, talk radio you control. Call in at 603-283-6160. Are you tired of the oppressive rules and moderation of the big tech social media sites? Our Mastodon server at social.freetalklive.com can set you free. Mastodon is free, open source, decentralized, and federated. Multiple apps are available for iOS, Android, Windows, Mac, and Linux. Social.freetalklive.com. In the studio tonight is Lori,
Bonnie,
and Richie Rich.
And so I was reading this story about how how the Pentagon wants to have AI chatbots. It says the United States Secretive Special Operations Command is looking for companies to help create deepfake internet users so convincing that neither humans nor computers will be able to detect they are fake, according to the procurement document reviewed by The Intercept. The plan mentioned in a new 76-page wish list by the department. They have a wish list, like a Christmas wish list that they're hoping Santa delivers.
How many Pentagon people can we fire if we get the AI to do their work?
They don't.
All of them?
It can't be in the budget. They're always missing like $1 trillion. At least $1 billion.
That's for Black Ops.
That's missing in like big, heavy quotations, though.
Yeah. They can't account for it.
Black Ops.
Mm-hmm. It's Black Book budget.
Yes.
Right? I think Black Ops is a different thing, isn't it?
I don't know. It's Call of Duty, right?
Well, fine.
Black Ops is like the special forces that are on secret missions, and then Black Book budget is a totally different thing. That's just where all the
how do you fund the Black
money
Ops?
Goes. From the Black Book budget,
That's
but it
what
also
I'm
goes
saying.
to other things,
Okay.
other secret things that I don't want you to know
My
about.
point is that they're using the missing funds to fund Black Op operations.
And other things.
Like-
Lots of them.
Go on.
Like their.
I mean, I'm not getting thrown out a window.
Okay.
I'll just sit over here quietly.
MK Ultra. Well, that's probably a black budget thing. I don't know.
I think that's so widely known now.
Well, it was only widely
Operation
known.
Mockingbird.
It was only widely known because they got forced to let the public know about it, and right before the head of the CIA burned as much about it as he possibly could. So everything we know about it is really by accident.
I love how whenever you come out with like a conspiracy theory, people are like, that's crazy. That would never happen. Except there are so many that are absolutely true that they've admitted to, and people know about this. Why would they think that it wouldn't just continue on in that fashion?
I don't get that.
Because it sounds crazy in the moment.
Even if it's just the Tuskegee experiments, like you shouldn't trust anything if you just knew about them. And then there's on top of that more and more and more.
Somebody could tell me like the wildest thing, the absolute wildest thing you can imagine, and be like, the government's doing such and such, and I'd be like, maybe.
Okay.
No matter what.
My sister sent me a really
What
cool
it is.
Was
video.
Hurricane Helene designed to wipe out red districts?
Maybe.
Yeah,
Okay.
I say maybe.
I don't know.
It's all
I
about
don't
shocking.
know.
They had oh man, I forget the name of which one it was, but actually Wilhelm Reich and other people worked on this project in order to try to study how to design or manipulate the weather.
Yes.
So they had a project blah blah blah. I just don't remember what
But
it's
has
called.
it advanced to the point?
And that was in the 50s or the 40s.
Has it advanced to the point where they're designing hurricanes
Maybe.
to wipe out red districts?
Who knows?
That's
I
what I'm
don't
saying.
know.
I
All right.
bet it's
All that
possible.
black book budget's got to go somewhere.
Fine.
You know, they're doing something. I wouldn't know because I won't know about it until 40 years from now when they're like, so all that stuff you guys were talking about, yeah, we did that for
All
real.
right.
It's real. So we do have a caller on the line. We're going to go to Tim in Florida.
Hey, it's Tim. I just wanted to respond to Dana. She said I threw my vote away.
Yeah.
So the question is, did I throw my vote away?
Yes.
And I just want to say a couple of
You don't know
things
who
about
you
that.
voted for.
Doesn't matter. It doesn't count.
Yeah, well, I voted for a third party, right?
Even worse.
Chase Oliver. So here's my response to Dana and anyone else who thinks that way. If I voted for someone who stands for the exact same things I believe in, even if they're going to lose, how is that throwing my vote away? Because that's not actually how democracy is supposed to work anyway. And just 5 hours before Dana said I threw my vote away, I was talking to my stepdad about the ever-repeated quote, "You're throwing your vote away if you vote for third party." And I told him this. I said, a Republican will tell you if you don't vote for the Republican, but instead you vote for third party, you are voting for the Democrat, and therefore you're throwing your vote away. A Democrat tells you if you don't vote for the Democrat, but you vote for third party, you're voting for the Republican, and therefore you're throwing your vote away. But what they're really saying is you're throwing your vote away because you're not voting for the person I want you to vote for.
In this year, I really think it's way more valid to say that if you vote Libertarian, you're giving your vote to the Democrats than giving your vote to the Republicans. But at the same time, I understand what Rich is saying about like your individual vote mattering so little that it's nearly zero anyway.
It's absolutely zero.
But but not every Libertarian in America, you know? Like every Libertarian in America is not zero. And I'm not saying you can never get them to all do anything.
It's absolutely zero. Every vote at the federal level and presidential level is zero.
There's never been a time that a delegate has voted outside of what their people in their district actually voted. So there's not really. It's not that it's zero.
But those are the ones that count. They count the Electoral College votes. They don't count yours.
I think that's just semantics at that point then, because
they don't count. And on top of that, just because you get to choose which ruler is going to put their thumb on you doesn't make it any better.
You don't even get to choose. It's the 270 Electoral College votes.
But that's kind of just semantics. And if they were like voting opposite, if they had ever voted opposite what their district that they're supposed to be voted, then I feel like you'd have more of a point.
You're absolutely totally missing my point. Like, it's very interesting how none of the networks or even the alternative, so-called alternative medias are giving the slightest mention to Chase Oliver.
Because he's a terrible candidate. He didn't do any sort of publicity to get his name out there.
Yeah, well, you're talking about viability, but when it comes to actually representing libertarian principles, he's spot on.
No, he's not. I disagree. I would not say that anyone is spot on. Yeah, compared to other people, sure, he's better. I agree that compared to Trump, he is more of a libertarian by a lot.
And again, my point is that Dana is saying Dana is a Republican who wants everyone to vote for Trump, is saying that I threw my vote away, not because I'm throwing my vote away. And that is my point, is she's mad because I didn't vote for the person she wanted me to.
I think that's probably pretty accurate.
That's how everyone feels.
Thanks for the call, Tim.
You didn't vote for my guy. What's wrong with you?
Yeah, I got told in Utah in 2016 when I was going to vote for Gary Johnson that if I didn't vote for Trump, then I'm not an actual adult yet and I need to grow up, by my boss at work, like on the clock. And it's like, Trump was never going to lose Utah, ever. But I still voted for Trump because I got so scared that if Hillary Clinton won, that maybe I shouldn't say this on there. It's going to implicate me that Muslims would take over the country.
Okay.
That's why I didn't vote for Trump. I don't feel like that now, but that's how I felt in 2016. That was like months into me being...
Sharia law.
That's what I thought. There were people making videos that basically convinced me of that. There were people like Milo Yiannopoulos, who was really like pushing that. And he really did. And he's trying to pull himself out of the depths, and it's really embarrassing, actually. I follow him on Twitter watching the whole thing. He hit the twink death is real. That's what I'll say about him. He used to be like a cute beautiful Greek gay guy with an English accent. And he, like, I think the wall is realer for gay guys than for women, even though you hear about the wall for women.
Go on.
Just that he looks like he has like a neck beard suddenly, and he doesn't really seem to care. And it's just pieces. Like, it's one thing if you have a full beard. Like, of course, some of that's going to grow on your neck. I don't understand why people call that neck beard. It's like when it's mostly only beard and it's just little pieces, like really scraggly looking. I don't get that. And then he has like yellow blonde.
Okay.
That he just bleaches only on the top of his head.
What does that have to do with the wall?
Oh, he hit the wall.
Oh, okay.
He's less attractive now.
Gotcha.
By like most men in their, maybe he's 40, like are not just like so much uglier than when they were 20. Most like straight men are like getting hotter.
Yeah,
I think.
I agree with that.
I agree too.
Some
Men get more attractive as they age, to a point.
Yeah.
And then you're
Not
just
like
like, wow,
80.
you're my grandpa.
Yeah.
So wrinkly.
Yeah. I mean, even some of those guys, though, you're like, wow. my
Robert De
grandpa.
Niro's not ugly.
Who?
Robert De Niro. He hasn't gotten like hideous, but obviously he was
He was never
hotter
attractive.
before. What?
Yeah.
I think he's attractive, and lots of
Bonnie
people
likes
think he's
the old
attractive. He just had he had a baby only like a couple of years ago, and he's in his 80s, I think. I know.
Good for him.
Yeah, I guess.
I don't know why I always say men had a baby. It's like such a dumb way to put
Men
that.
can have babies now. That's
I
real
didn't
facts.
mean it like that.
It's 2024.
The pregnant man emoji, so it's real.
Mm-hmm.
It's got his DNA, hopefully. Maybe.
Maybe.
Who
knows? So, the Pentagon is trying to scam us with bots, apparently. So this says that the document specifies that the JSOC wants the ability to create online user profiles that appear to be a unique individual that is recognizable as a human but does not exist in the real world. Yeah, that's a bot. With each featuring multiple expressions and government identification quality photos. In addition to still images of faked people, the document notes that the solution should include facial and background imagery, facial and background video, and audio layers. And JSOC hopes to be able to generate selfie video from these fabricated humans. These
and
videos,
a backstory, like a whole
everything.
life
I
story.
swear
Whole life.
that this exists already, because there's people that like make stupid tweets right now, and you'll click on them and you're like, that's an AI picture.
Yeah, that's probably what they're working on.
Weren't you just an AI picture, Bonnie?
See, but they want to get it to the point where they want to get it to the point where you're not going to be like, that's an AI picture. You're just going to be like, oh, that's a person.
Yeah.
So weird, but I do
But the only
really
person
think
that
they're
knows was
testing
like
it.
Bonnie.
No, that's not true. Like, they're like obvious once you click on them, but before you click on them, they're not obvious because the picture's always way smaller.
Just looked like Bonnie.
What?
The AI Bonnie just looked like Bonnie.
No, it
Until
didn't.
you clicked on it.
Like it made it bigger. I guess I could agree with that.
No way.
But
I saw that picture and I was like, it looks like Bonnie's like weird, ugly sister.
Okay.
it was really weird.
It was
All
a
right.
weird picture of Bonnie.
So what they're referring to is freeian.org, which is a great website. They had a picture of me that was AI for some reason, and when I brought it up to them, they switched it and made it look better. It's still AI, but
it's better than the other one, though.
So much better than the other one.
It was really weird. It was like Uncanny Valley.
I don't know why it was like that. I
She
think
looked like Greta
Thunberg.
Thunberg.
Yes.
Because her head was looking up and it was just weird chin line. That's
She had like
think-
no lips. They like took her lips away.
Yeah, I think
I
that
didn't see the
they
lips.
I, like had a picture of me in mid talking because my hands were like this, and maybe that looked bad for the picture, so they wanted me with my mouth closed for the picture, looking like I'm like thinking.
And then they like blurred out your hand moving.
Oh,
'Cause
I
your
thought my hand was moving.
Your
Oh.
blurry hand was still there, so why would they not just like take that out of the picture?
I didn't see that, or I
I
didn't
was
notice.
so focused on the sign in the background.
What's wrong with the sign? I thought it was.
Because in the real picture, there was no sign in the background.
Oh, really? They just like added one in there?
I need to see the
that's-
real picture because like.
Well, whatever was posted.
Hmm.
I don't know which one was real. But I went, oh, they're talking about like the way Bonnie looks in the sign in the background.
This is how I ended up deciding to ask them to change it. Because when I first saw it, I was like, "That's so weird." I can tell that's AI, but they have a lot going on. The guys doing that website are doing an amazing job.
Did you ask him why he made Ian Colombian?
No, I actually like approved that picture of him because
To
they're
improve his
saying
IQ.
they were saying that it is it's important to have like a kind of drawing one because it's like easier to like what's the word like standardize.
Mm-hmm.
And I knew it didn't look exactly like him, but like the more time went on, the more I believe that it doesn't look like him. But that one's too late. It is the picture.
Yeah, it's the Viva la Ian.
Then there's just a picture of me on the front page that isn't like an icon being used over and over and over. And so I felt just too vain to ask them to change it, but then when I thought about it, I was like, well, would you want to help somebody who is hideous and scary looking, or would you want to help somebody who's attractive? So I asked them to change it.
Oh, then you just bring an AI model.
Yeah.
This is Ian's wife.
On like a beach with coconuts.
I've heard all these coconuts.
Yeah.
Just one dog in each hand. Dog coconut.
It's like all they found when they Googled me, so.
So, like all these politicians, though, are doing these fake pictures with other people's kids, I've been hearing.
Whoa.
Okay.
Like kissing babies and...
Yeah, like pictures of them like hugging other people's families and just being like, yes, this is my family.
Oh, yeah.
Just have some of those. Just bring in like fake families and stuff and be like, this is Bonnie's 17 children.
That was like a single politician who wanted the family vote, and he borrowed his like.
There was a lady who did it too.
Lady did too. Okay,
yeah.
I missed that
Whoa,
one.
I didn't see any of that. It's crazy. But Kamala's doing it. She's borrowing an old black lady to pretend she's actually black. Did you hear about that, Richie Rich?
No.
Yeah, there's a lady that came out, and she's a black lady who lived in Jamaica and was like a nanny for Kamala Harris.
Okay.
She said the official picture is not Kamala Harris's grandma. That she claims is her grandma. She said that Kamala Harris's grandma, her name was Beryl. She looked Irish. She had very pale skin. Things you wouldn't say about just like a straight up black lady.
Okay. Are you disputing that Kamala is black or Jamaican?
Well, kind of. Well, not really Jamaican, because like it's like being like, you can be American, you can be lots of colors. You can be Puerto Rican, you can be white, black, or Hispanic, native looking.
Elon Musk is African.
Yeah.
South African.
And that's the thing. So
it's still Africa.
You're right.
His dad.
we make the distinction because of the color codes.
But her dad is like, it's already known that he's like half white and half Jamaican, and that is what the grandma in question is supposed to be giving him the black.
Okay.
So she had to come up with this lady.
It wouldn't matter if she wasn't like, this is my entire identity now.
Exactly.
So she's half Indian and half white Jamaican.
Yeah,
I guess.
Exactly. Like, well, that's the
I
thing.
wasn't there, so I don't know.
I believe that that's true.
Okay.
Based on this lady with firsthand witness experience saying that she knew Beryl.
So you were right, because it goes on to say, these videos will feature more than fake people. Each deep fake selfie will come with matching faked background to create a virtual environment undetectable by social media algorithms. So they want like a whole
It's like
person,
when they can we get the background
persona
on this guy? He's like, he's a ghost.
Mm-hmm.
He's got no story.
You're saying that they have to have multiple pictures like in the same room?
Videos too. Like they want like a video, like a whole layer of voices so they can make them say whatever they want with different inflection and tones and all that, so that you or a computer could not tell that it's not an actual real human being.
I didn't know that social media like scans for that. That's kind of weird, because it said like they have to get past the algorithms.
Well, if you like take a video, you can feed it into a computer to tell you if it's AI or not. Like if you can't tell the difference.
Oh,
because
yeah,
the
I see what
computer
you're saying
can tell.
now. Okay, that all makes more sense than what I was thinking. I thought you were saying like they'll compare all your pictures and see if you have any with the same background. I was like, that seems like you could have a different picture in a different room of your house every day or something. All right, now it makes a lot more sense.
I did come across an article that said that college students are getting a raw deal because their written papers are getting flagged as AI papers, and it's false positives.
I believe it, yeah.
So if they run this through the algorithm and they come up with a bunch of false positives, like, no, bro, I was really at the party. I don't care what the algorithm says.
How could you even stop that now? Because AI is writing so many articles and things on the internet. Like half of your sources are AI generated.
Maybe.
Yeah.
So
many YouTube videos are obviously AI now. It's like getting really annoying, because like especially ones about anything remotely related to spirituality, it's like they fed it the spirituality side of Instagram, and it's just saying crap that's like, oh my god, so boring. And it's like just something that you would get on the one Wikipedia page if you googled like meditation or so. And it's like the way you can really know is that they all have this similar AI voice. There's like 3 of them I hear all the time. And that like really cheapened YouTube like overnight.
Yeah.
I use AI to read books.
Well, my brother was cheating that way too. Not really cheating, but I wanted him to read out loud his social studies book, so that way we would learn it together. And I couldn't even get mad at him because he figured out himself how to make it read it out loud. And I was like, fine, but you have to be listening.
But now I don't have to like buy the audiobook or
Yeah.
steal the audiobook. I just
So the thing about that, with him having it read it out loud, it doesn't really work the same for your brain.
Yeah.
If you're reading it out loud, it is an extra layer of conscious effort to absorb the material. And if you're just listening to someone read it out loud, it doesn't.
I'm not trying to absorb the
work
material.
same.
I'm trying to fall asleep.
Oh, I was talking about her brother.
Oh, okay.
I completely agree, but I was also, one, impressed, and two, just like, it was annoying. It was annoying for both of us to have to read it. Like, it was just, it's so annoying and dumb and propaganda. We just wanted to get through it. We could pass the test that way.
Nice little female Canadian voice.
I wish that there were more AI voices so that you could have it talk however you wanted.
The woman sits down on the couch.
Is there one that will like yell in like a Slavic accent?
I don't know.
That's what I want.
Okay.
I want my like Alexa to like be angry Slav.
I don't know if you get Alexa to do it, but
Great.
the app that I use has several, and I narrowed it down. And
Now with AI, I bet you can kind of customize it to like anything.
That'd be great.
Yeah, Google it.
I'd be okay with that. I'd listen to an audiobook.
Hey Google, can I get an audiobook reader with a heavy Slavic accent?
An angry, heavy Slavic accent.
An angry, heavy Slavic accent?
Just like he's talking down to me the whole time, condescendingly. I'd be like rapt attention listening to it.
Georgi Dinkov is not angry and mean, but you should just listen to Georgi Dinkov. He's from Bulgaria, and he can talk so much about interesting things, and his accent is awesome.
I will then.
Can you believe Red Riding Hood didn't know it was a wolf?
Yeah, I'd be like, I can't believe it. So it says the Pentagon has already been caught using phony social media users to further its interest in recent years. In 2022, Meta and Twitter removed a propaganda network using faked accounts operated by U.S. Central Command, including some with profile pictures generated with methods similar to those outlined by JSOC. A 2024 Reuters investigation revealed a special operations command campaign using fake social media users aimed at undermining foreign confidence in China's COVID vaccine. I remember all that. Do you remember that? People were like, oh, China's COVID vaccine is...
I remember dude in hazmat suits like yanking people off the street in China.
I remember people getting like nailed in their houses and stuff.
And
like,
sprayed with a chemical.
It was weird.
What
like,
was
consent.
that all? That was like, 28 days later style.
Right. That's how bad the virus was supposed to be.
Yeah, but then I don't know anyone who died.
I still want to know if the...
I know one person that died.
Oh.
Like, not personally. I know of them.
The thing is, like, the two people I know that died during that time period were already old, already had other things going on, and one of them I don't think...
Comorbidities.
Yeah, I don't think the government, the hospital said anything about COVID with the one because it was, like, January 2020, but the second one, they definitely tried to say it was COVID, and he was, like, obese, going for a while, and had, like, multiple organ failure.
People like that die from the flu. And things like that. Like, people were in China, people were like dropping in the streets, and it was like a giant scary thing. Right, that's what
interesting. I wonder what the heck that was. Were they somehow get like in a hysteria, like that they were just thinking that it was real, or were those just actors?
Was that all actors? Did we just watch the best movie that's ever been put out?
And it came from China.
And it came from China. I mean, with all the people, they should have some really good actors, like just odds,
We make much better movies.
That's
than
Bollywood.
China. 603-283-6160. It's Free Talk Live.
So the protection of life, liberty, and property is what the Free State Project is all about. But it's an effort to move 20,000 people who understand.
It's about demonstrating to the entire country
that, yeah, we can have a free market, a truly free market. Making it just a freer, great place to live.
It's the world's largest voluntarist libertarian community, and it's only getting bigger.
That's amazing, to be able to move to a place where other people like passionately believe in being free and independent.
What the Free State Project is managing to to do, though, is to put their money where their mouth is. Physically getting up across the country and saying, let's go someplace and let's demonstrate the power of these ideas. There's a lot of kind of philosophy that surrounds liberty. There's a lot of thinking about it and talking about it. But here in New Hampshire, people are doing it.
101 Reasons Liberty Lives in New Hampshire, a documentary by Free State Project Early Movers. Watch it free at 101reasonsfilm.com. 101reasonsfilm.com.
From Feature Story News in Washington, I'm Jagruti Dave. With just over a week to go until Election Day, Donald Trump and Kamala Harris have been crossing the United States, making their final pitches to voters. The latest polls indicate the race is still effectively a dead heat. Both Donald Trump and Kamala Harris ended the weekend with rallies, but while the Republican chose to hold his at the iconic Madison Square Garden in the thus far solidly blue state of New York, Kamala Harris picked the crucial swing state of Pennsylvania. On Saturday in Michigan, another swing state, Donald Trump tried to reach out to Muslim voters, disillusioned with the White House over its approach to the Israel-Gaza war. And while Donald Trump made his closing argument in his hometown on Sunday, Kamala Harris will be making hers on Tuesday at the Ellipse here in Washington, D.C. More than 38 million people have already cast their ballots, but according to the polls, they're neck and neck in the 7 swing states that will determine the result of this race. Iran has vowed to respond to Saturday's retaliatory strikes by Israel on Tehran. Iran, however, says it doesn't want a war, with more Gaza ceasefire negotiations planned in Doha. Sarah Coates has more from Tel Aviv.
We did hear from the Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, whose first public statements after Saturday's attacks on Iran. He said he's happy with the result, also saying, whoever hurts us, we will hurt them. We do also understand that these senior Israelis also have spoken with senior US counterparts about strategic opportunities with regards to these strikes. But really the concern here is that this once shadow war is now very much in the open. It's still unclear as to whether the Iranians will in fact respond.
And exit polls show Japan's ruling party is projected to lose its parliamentary majority after the country went to the polls. Rebecca Bundan reports from Tokyo.
This election is really seen as a major test for the ruling LDP and for Japan's new Prime Minister, Shigeru Ishiba, who only came to power a few weeks ago when he was elected as a leader by the party. And he actually called this snap election, but it's something that could potentially backfire for him, and especially from the exit polls that we're seeing coming through so far, it looks like that could well be the case, that the party could lose seats, and that's due to several factors, including scandals that have really plagued the party, including in particular a political fundraising scandal. And there are other issues that voters have been concerned about as well, which have perhaps led some people to vote differently, and that includes issues around the economy. Particularly inflation has been a big challenge for citizens.
You can stick it to the man and big tech. Join our FTL social mastodon at social.freetalklive.com.
It's Free Talk Live, talk radio you control. Call in at 603-283-6160. Bring up anything you would like to talk about. Free Talk Live is brought to you by Dash Digital Cash. Dash is the cryptocurrency made for spending. Dash transactions are irreversible, so Dash is great for merchants. Plus, its network is protected from 51% attacks by its Chainlocks technology. Thanks to the Dash DAO for sending us 32 Dash per month for this sponsorship. It's easy to get and use Dash. You can learn more at dash.org. That's dash.org. In the studio tonight is Lori,
Bonnie, and Richie Rich.
So we were talking about AI and the AI Stravaganza that's happening everywhere. Everything is
Pentagon creating backstories to fool people on social media for unknown reasons.
Unknown reasons. Probably nefarious.
Probably nefarious.
Always nefarious.
Guaranteed nefarious.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And, you know, even just regular people using AI in everyday situations for every single purpose
Again,
now.
it's useful. It has a purpose.
My favorite thing about AI is the videos people are making that are like so bad. AI hallucinations where people are like melting into objects and like all kinds of crazy. So you have not seen those?
I've seen ones that
I
are
saw
like
a fantastic Trump one the other day. I'll have to show
I don't
you.
spend a lot of time looking for that
this one
stuff.
actually. There was like one that was posted somewhere. Like I thought the host chat, like maybe right before Ian went to jail because Ian, that was so funny. Ian loves
Okay.
AI. It was like a Bud Light commercial. Do you remember that one? And things keep like catching on fire in it because it's supposed to be like Bud Light commercial, family with a fire in the backyard, enjoying Bud Lights, and like it just gets weirder and weirder. It's like an acid trip, and like then their hot dogs are on fire in their hands and stuff like that.
I think the failure
smiling.
here is the assumption that I read everything posted in the host chat.
Yeah, I guess I thought you specifically laughed about it too. I don't
may
know.
have.
Maybe I'm even thinking of Captain, honestly.
I may have, if someone else already put the laugh emoji on there, I might have just contributed that to make it appear as
feel
though
like it
I'm
must be funny.
I'm
this
just
would have been like a
participating
year
at that
ago.
point. Yeah. I have done that.
I'm part of the
Why?
Right. Yes. Why?
Why?
So it looks like I'm participating. Same reason I clicked like on Facebook for friend stuff. It's like, I'm just throwing you a bone,
I
buddy.
definitely do that.
Solidarity.
I'll
Yeah.
like something I don't really care about just because my friend posted it.
Yes.
But not laugh at something I don't know if it's funny or not in a Telegram chat.
I always hate when people send me like a video that I'm absolutely not interested in, but then I have to like watch it so that I can respond to whatever they just sent me.
I don't do it. Colin sends me like 100 YouTube videos a week or something, and he always says like, your attention span is just too low to watch that, isn't it? And I'm like, no, it's like some topic I've never been interested in and never told you I was, and you expect me to watch a 10-minute video about it.
Yeah.
At least it's only 10 minutes.
Well,
Watch
still,
this documentary.
that too. That happens too.
A guy did that to me one time on a date, like a first date. He had me watch a documentary with him.
Whoa.
Okay. Was it Stu?
It wasn't Stu.
Okay, just checking.
It wasn't Stu. I was into it though because it was fine.
What was the documentary?
It was Transcendent Man.
Okay. Was it good?
It was good.
I thought that I was like having the worst time of my life, like something so cringe was happening to me when one of my boyfriends had me watch Naruto with him. And this is funny because I just brought up Naruto. It's not like I'm obsessed or something. I was like, oh my God, this is so awkward. Like what? And then I ended up loving it and we watched the whole thing together.
And now Bonnie runs with her arms out behind her body.
Yeah.
It's the only thing I know about it.
That's how I ran down the stairs. to
I
get
missed
back.
out.
I saw it. Did you guys see it on the stream?
I missed all the Dragon Ball Z stuff. Just wasn't my thing.
I'm not like super into anime. I like Death Note, like I was saying on break. But
I've seen the live
That's
action
exactly
movie for
how I
Death
feel.
Note.
I've only seen Naruto, and it's
I like
good.
the concept.
Well, I saw Sailor Moon when I was a kid, but not even a lot.
I like Studio Ghibli anime stuff,
Okay.
like Howl's Moving Castle.
It looks
Alright.
pretty, but
Yeah,
I've
it's
only
pretty.
watched the
It's
witch
weird.
one, the one with the little witch girl.
Okay, so I've seen a bunch of the Studio Ghibli stuff as well, and I guess
Moving
watch-
Castle. Sorry,
maybe. Yeah, I don't know.
Howl's Moving Castle.
is that the one with the witch girl,
Is
or is
that the new
that
one?
just a different one? I don't know. Anyway, sorry.
My point is that like it's different when it's a movie as opposed to an episodic cartoon show.
They do way too many callbacks. That gets so annoying. I tried
Okay.
to show Ian Naruto, and he was getting so tired of all the flashbacks, so that way you can understand because there's 200 episodes in this season.
Got to start from the beginning.
Yeah.
That's why I never got into Doctor Who. Where do you start? Nowhere. Just moving on. Because I got to start from the beginning, otherwise you miss something.
Yeah, I'm not interested enough to start Doctor Who or Game of Thrones.
I liked Game of Thrones, but I didn't finish it.
Just don't talk to the chatbot.
I didn't get to the last couple seasons, maybe the last 1, 2. I can't remember. But I
saw
liked it.
some random ones here and there because my boyfriend at the time, different boyfriend's family loved it, and
Never mind.
like literally like 5. But I've only mentioned 2. But his family like watched it when it was on all the time, and it like there was parts that I saw that were like disturbing to me, and like I never wanted to watch more of it. It's not just violence; it's like sexual violence and stuff. I was like, yeah.
I also don't like watching stuff from the middle. Like if it's on,
Yeah, me either.
like now you start over.
I hate when people do that to me. Yeah.
I
Whereas,
can't
like,
watch anything from the middle either.
Yeah.
Where they're like, oh, this new episode came out of this thing and I just have to watch it even though you're here.
Yep.
I can't stand that. Yeah. I'm like,
I'd be like, I'll just leave.
yeah.
Back in the day when we were going to the drive-in movie to watch Lethal Weapon 4, it's like I did not see the first 3. So we hustled off to Blockbuster to rent the first 3. And that was my whole day leading up to the movie, including on the ride over, because we had a van with a TV and a VCR built in. So on the ride to the movie theater, I was like finishing Lethal Weapon 3 so that I'd be all caught up for the 4th one.
You got to know the backstory,
Yeah.
so you know what's going on. So we do
How
have
long
some.
was the ride? Watch a whole movie.
Well, I started it at home, and then like, Ray, we're going to the movies tonight. The movie's at like 7 o'clock. Like, well, I haven't seen the first 3, so we got to hustle to Blockbuster.
Okay.
And so if each movie's 90 minutes or whatever, that's 4.5 hours.
I did that
movies
same
I gotta
thing. I
watch.
misunderstood you guys. I thought you said on the car ride there.
I did, because I didn't finish it at home.
That was
but
just the last of it, though.
But yeah, so I took the VHS into the car because we had a TV and VCR in the van that we all took to the drive-in.
I did
And
that
finished-
up until
Right, and I finished watching Lethal Weapon 3 as we're getting to the movie theater.
I
or
did
the
that
drive-in theater.
for the first 3 Matrixes because Ian wanted me to see the 4th with him in theaters, but I didn't watch it on the way there in the car. I haven't seen one of those vans with a DVD player in so long. Like my
VHS.
It's VHS.
Or I didn't even hear you say that.
That's super fancy. Back in the VHS days, you have VHS and a TV in your car.
We had one of those too, and it was like the VHS thing was where the middle thing is in between the front and driver's seat.
Fancy.
Yeah, it was a low-mounted TV between the driver and passenger's seat.
How many siblings do you have?
Well,
A bunch?
no, but depends how you count it. Technically, I'm an only
step
child.
siblings.
How many other children did you have growing up with you?
Half.
So I
count.
have 2 half sisters that are not related to each other. So one from each side. And then on my mom's side, I have a step sister from my mom's second marriage and 2 step brothers from her third.
So there's 6 kids total and revolving around the family.
Revolving around me,
Mhm.
right? Because one half doesn't meet the other half, and one was from a second marriage, doesn't really count.
Richie's the center of his family.
No, I'm excluded because both sides have other families that are more important than me.
Oh,
that
Now,
sounds
my,
so sad.
My niece has like dozens of half siblings.
I always try to
That's
not
too
let my half brother feel that way, but it's almost impossible when he's the only one with that dad, and then the rest of the 6 of us have the same dad.
Yep. Poor kid.
Yeah.
But we also brought our house was like the neighborhood house, right? So we always had friends coming with us.
Mhm.
So we would pile into the big old van, cover up with blankets. My parents would buy 2 tickets, right, for them.
Right.
And then we'd all pile out of the van, with the lawn chairs and whatever setting up in front of the movie theater.
Nice.
Or the drive-in. Till they closed it down.
Life was so great a long time ago.
Yes.
It's like
Nostalgia is real.
Yeah. I dig
You
all
can make
of the
fun of your Oriental friends without being called a racist.
I dig all the scientific advancements and technological advancements that have made life better and easier and make people healthier and stuff like that. But so many other things are just terrible.
But if you
in
just surround yourself
comparison.
with the right people, like on the way here, or not on the way here, before the show, I went to Social Sundays, and what's his name, Bear Arms, was making fun of himself for being Chinese and didn't care that we were also adding to the jokes and stuff. So it just depends who you surround yourself with.
Right.
Yeah,
Riley
my
makes
personal
fun-
life is fine because
He's
that's-
also older. Bear Arms
Yeah.
isn't Gen A or Gen Z.
Yeah.
He can tolerate these things.
it's just dealing with other people that are outside my personal sphere is not so great.
And the internet's worse about it.
The internet, yeah.
Twitter is so much better about it though now
Thank
that
you, Elon.
Elon Musk purchased it. He's not 100% free speech absolutist. Like he said, you still can't say faggot, but you can put the cigarette and everyone knows that's what that means.
It's a bundle of sticks.
Can you say, I don't like Elon Musk, or will he cry and kick you off?
I've said bad things about him before and wondered about that and nothing happened.
Yeah.
Maybe he doesn't catch them all.
Maybe.
I don't know.
I just don't like being forced to follow him.
Is
I
he-
don't
I didn't
follow
know he does
him, but I
that.
get the notifications when he posts something.
Oh, I see. I do too.
I don't have a Twitter account, so
Again-
maybe I do have one, but I don't use it.
I have several for various aspects of my interests because I don't like cross mixing.
I think
interbreeding.
I think I have one to if there's something specific that I want to see, so I can use it to go and see something, because it's hard to use if you don't have an account.
I started using one of my main ones again during Ian's trial because I wanted to get the live updates from Mark and Captain and Bonnie.
I only have a like fake one because if something pops up that I want to see on Facebook, I'm not able to see it. Like you can't see that at all. Like Twitter, sometimes it works, I guess, but Facebook is like locked down.
Yep.
So we do have some calls. We're going to go to the phones. We have Jet. Hi, Jet.
Yeah, hi. I'm going to talk about, I'm kind of a day behind. I'm going to talk about stuff that was going on last night. But before I do that, I just thought I'd mention I'm an only child in a family of 4 without any explanation.
Okay.
Last night there was this guy that called in and said, complained about people starting their car and then playing on their phone.
Yeah.
And what I wanted to comment about that was he was suggesting that, of course, when people start their car, they should just take off. Well, my experience in life has been that if you allow your car to warm up, it will last at least twice as long, if not 3 times as long.
That
What do you
goes
mean
back to the whole
last?
carburetor thing.
Oh, the car will last. I see. Yeah, you gotta let your car warm up
Not anymore.
in the winter.
Not anymore.
No, I mean mine does.
I mean, you're allowed to, but the technology has advanced where you no longer need to let your car warm up.
Maybe it's like I'm not like up to filling it with all its fluids at the exact right moment, but things work better when I let my car warm up. But it's a 2007.
That's right.
I don't know if that.
No, I would say
Otherwise you get
check
those-
your oil.
Well, I do get my oil changed when I'm
Okay.
supposed to.
Well, but I mean, there's different viscosities, that are more applicable in winter.
I
So
also
if
let
you're
my.
And
Go ahead, Jet.
And with the synthetics, it's going to remain on the cylinders longer. So yeah, there's that possibility. But like I said, my experience has been I run cars to at least 300,000. Anyway, and I can't remember who was that got shut down a couple times for doing the F word thing, but
Yesterday,
what I wanted to
yeah,
mention-
That was the
John.
mushroom scientist.
It was John from San Antonio, the mushroom scientist.
what I wanted to mention was, as we grow older, I believe we should become wiser. And one of the things that happened to me was
wiser with the lower
I became
IQ.
born again. I became born again when I was 30 years old. Before that, I don't think there was a cuss word or whatever that I left out of any of my language. But that very day that I became born again, that was totally stripped from my vocabulary. And what I do is I tell my kids that you can share every thought and feeling you have without these expletives. Now, I said, if you want to create some type of, be creative and throw in something interesting, make up one of your own or use something simple, replace the F word with a blinkin' or stinkin' or whatever it is. Anything.
My little brother, who's 11, he says, "What the flip?" all the time, and a lot of times I'm like, "What'd
Just
you
use
just
the
say?"
word.
And he's
Just use the
like,
word.
"Flip." Yeah,
Just use the word. We all know what you're thinking.
Right, it means the same thing. The intent is the same.
Yeah.
I was just saying that my 11-year-old
Yeah,
brother
I get
does it. So I don't think a lot of adults would want to.
But he should just use the word.
I don't think
Even the
he
adults
should.
know what he's thinking.
I don't think he should. I think he should be allowed to say flip just because he's 11. His friends at school probably do it too, which is so funny.
If it's slang, fine. But he should just throw out the F word and no one should have a problem with it.
I don't like.
I'm not
I purposely
suggesting-
or personally don't like when little kids cuss. If he was cussing in my house, I would stop him.
That's on
I'm not suggesting that
I
people
said I
shouldn't
personally
use
don't
I'm
like it.
just- I'm suggesting that it's more fun actually to try to be creative and not just go along with the crowd. In any event, there was this other fellow who was talking about global warming, and I think in part with that thing about running the engine before you take off. And of course, what's the in quotes scientists brainstorm idea of how to handle global warming? It's kind of throwing some of their junk into the air to block the sun's rays, right?
Dear God, I hope they don't get allowed to do all that.
Well, what is the greenhouse effect? It is the idea that these gases and such hold the heat in.
Yeah.
Now,
So you're right.
so it
But
makes a
well, the
total
thing is,
sense.
the thing that they say is that they're going to put stuff up in the sky that reflects, like that is shiny, so it will reflect the sun. I don't agree with that or anything, but that's why they say it's different. It's a terrible idea.
I know.
Like, why
But
would we
wouldn't
try
that
to make the
also-
Earth run differently than it has for millions of years?
And warmer temperatures are more
Well, yeah,
conducive to
that's-
life.
That's what I try to explain to people too. This thing we have called a sun, it's not like it's on a thermostat where it's set at a certain temperature. It's going to go up. It's going to go down a little bit. It's doing a great job. We're all still breathing without turning into toast, but at the same time, putting another blanket layer of something there, in my mind, would just create another opportunity for the Earth to heat up. But
And it's
that's
like
just me.
we live on a sphere. I mean, so
You sure about this?
if the
So you say.
I assume, I guess. I don't know. But say we do live on a sphere or a circle, really. We should be able to get like a little further away from the equator and still have a lot of room up at the top and bottom that we're currently not using. So why are people so scared of this? We'll have the equator only for stuff like fishing, whatever fish can survive there, etc.
So
And
I
coconuts.
like the idea of.
I've had that
global
same
warming,
theory as well, and a buddy of mine corrected me. He said that's not quite how it works, because I said my suggestion was, as it heats up, you just move north, right, or more south, whichever direction you're going, into the climates that are currently too cold to live.
Yeah.
And then they'll just be warmer. He's like,
Yeah.
well, it doesn't quite work like that. There's like a belt line or something that's going to be still going to be the sweet spot, but it's not going to be the extremes. I don't know what the source is, but he follows this a lot more than I do.
Of course, it works like that. And Canada is a real pretty place. So come on, global warming. I don't mind at all.
I mean, will it still be pretty, though?
I'd be totally
be
open
greener.
to the idea that it might not work like that. And plus, a lot of Canada up there is like ice, so it might
Right, so it'll melt, and then you'll have warmer temperatures and greener pastures.
Where will I live?
Depends, unless you want the absolute cold.
I
right?
don't
No, she
want.
does.
I don't want hot.
Well, then
She likes snow.
just keep going north until you get to the cold spot up there, or south.
I bet you that the top of like what are they called? The Norwegian, not the Norwegian, but the three. Norway's one of them. Anyways,
Scandinavia.
the Scandinavian countries, like they got to be colder than Canada.
I just go live on a mountain. It's like -1 right now on Mount Washington.
Oh
There you
yeah,
go.
higher elevation.
Yeah.
Also, like
I
the high
have
places in Russia.
I do have one kind of serious topic, though, and that is, okay, among the three of you, would you, and don't get mad at me for asking this.
Too late.
already
Already
upset.
mad, yeah.
Could you, too late. You called in. I want to know from each of you, how would you define this thing we call government? What would be your definition?
I will
Each.
answer that first. I would say not rightful authority that is just claimed.
Yeah, they, them, those who claim to rule over your life.
Illegitimate is the word I was looking for.
I'd say a corporation full of thugs who are committing money laundering and theft. Like that's their whole business model.
Yeah. Well, at least there were two of you that invoked the concept that there are people, individuals, and humans kind of doing this thing. See, I've always held the position that agencies exist, people and groups exist.
Well, who
but
did you
this
think
whole
I was saying
concept of government-
is claiming at being elephants?
Maybe you were one of the two.
You're still good. I still like everything you said.
He said, "Don't get mad, Bunny."
Because
I don't understand. There's like such
Breaking the rules.
a obsession with us on this one particular show saying
I
the
know.
word people every time we say government, as if that's not like extremely unnecessary, and it is,
No, I would
because
suggest
nobody
use
thought
the agency name.
I was saying
The
elephants.
Pentagon. The elephants
Yeah,
at the
I would say-
Pentagon are creating AI chatbots.
I would just suggest whatever agency you're talking about to use that name rather than this global term. I'm just trying to get everybody to understand that that everything that these people do is illegitimate. I mean, it's legitimate in the way that, yes, there are laws that allow it, but it's, how do you say it? It's unethical, evil, all that good stuff. That's all.
Mm-hmm.
But they've got the bigger
and
guns.
they have no more right.
Yeah.
And these people have no more rights than you or I. I got it in. Yay.
Except they
Yeah.
do. They practically do, right?
Only because people allow it.
Exactly.
So
De
if people just stopped
facto-
allowing it, though.
That would change things.
Yeah.
But they're going to go throw their vote away in a week.
So they don't actually have more rights. They're just exerting power that is given to them by people allowing this to happen.
But the practical application is that they do.
That they do get given the power.
They're
Yeah.
allowed to do more than you. They
It's
can
just
get
not
away
by
with more.
themselves. They're allowed by themselves to do more than you.
That's what I'm amazed about. I just continue to walk around thinking it's so funny how this one person one day was your neighbor or your cousin or something. All of a sudden they get this title, and somehow we're supposed to call them special names, bow down to them, give them deference, hold the door. I don't know.
It's the ultimate
silly,
application
stupid
of
stuff.
individual anarchism, right? And if you want to be like the most free, you join the government because you get special privileges and special rights that
And
the
then,
average
like,
person doesn't.
Back in the day, like I have a ancestor that's like my mom's great 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 or great 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 grandpa. I don't know how many greats, but he was the town's cop, and he was like, everybody was like, wow, wow, wow about him. Like, he's so great. So it starts off like that, and he probably wasn't doing that many bad things. I mean, he was in Alabama that many years ago, so I don't know. But,
Probably racist.
But yeah, but I mean, that's definitely like almost a given. But doing bad things, I don't really know. But I'm just saying, like, everybody was like, oh, he was like the most loved person in the town just for being the cop. And then I think that's how it starts, because they
They're the
start
protector.
off being given a job that maybe they even do some good things. But even if they don't, they're just like, I feel like it seems like back in the past, like before TV and stuff, and
They
like
kept us safe.
they were
caught
just
the murderers.
it was just easier. Like, it was like crowdthink was easier in certain social situations.
Well, there was a whole societal aspect of like you're just supposed to respect people because they say that you're supposed to. Like, oh, I'm your elder, I'm whatever. Just you have to give me respect because I demand it from you, and everyone just went along with that. And I feel
Because
like
they
that's,
hammer it home when you're little and you can't fight back yet.
Yeah, it's like when people started getting tattoos, that's around the time that people started remotely questioning like the social norms. Like, you think back to like the 50s and 40s, it's like, can you imagine one of them like being like, no, I'm gonna live my life totally different than you guys? Everyone would be like, you know, like everybody in your town, everyone you knew would be like, how could you, like, I even heard a story of somebody being vegetarian in like the 60s, and it was like, what? To his whole town.
thanks for the call, Jet. 603-283-6160. It's Free Talk Live.
If you're looking for work, you know the math. There are many more applicants than openings, so you need to stand out, not blend into the blah, blah, blah your interviewer is hearing from your competition. Here's a tip. In your interview, you will be judged more by the questions you ask than the answers you give. Yes, do anticipate the obvious job interview questions and prepare concise, insightful, glass-half-full sounding responses. And you should interview your interviewer. Seem genuinely curious about what will help get results. With money and attention so scarce now, effective communication skills have never been more important. You want to cut through the clutter. For more tips for job seekers and making all the other conversations you have more productive, hit survivalspeech.com. I'm Holland Cook.
There are basically two types of advertising: direct response and branding. Radio's great for direct response with its low cost to listener ratio, but audio can't be beat for branding, which is a longer term endeavor. You want to be the first thing that someone thinks of when they think about your product or service. If you have a local business that you want kept top of mind in your community, call the station. If you need national reach, Free Talk Live's got around 200 radio stations, millions of monthly listening sessions, can suit all budgets, and if we don't think we're right for you, we'll tell you. Email me, mark@freetalklive.com.
Tired of cancel culture? Sick of mega tech corporations holding an axe over your head? Join the LRN.FM Matrix chat server. It's self-hosted, so no one else can tell us what to do or say. Don't like the existing channels? You can make your own. You can even connect into some of our channels from other Matrix servers. It's federated. For the full LRN.FM Matrix experience, though, you should join our server via the step-by-step instructions at chat.lrn.fm. chat.lrn.fm.
You're listening to the live edition of Free Talk Live. Hour number 3 is next after the news here on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.fm.
From Feature Story News in Washington, I'm Jagruti Dave. With just over a week to go until Election Day, Donald Trump and Kamala Harris have been crossing the United States, making their final pitches to voters. The latest polls indicate the race is still effectively a dead heat. Both Donald Trump and Kamala Harris ended the weekend with rallies, but while the Republican chose to hold his at the iconic Madison Square Garden in the thus far solidly blue state of New York, Kamala Harris picked the crucial swing state of Pennsylvania. On Saturday in Michigan, another swing state, Donald Trump tried to reach out to Muslim voters, disillusioned with the White House over its approach to the Israel-Gaza war. And while Donald Trump made his closing argument in his hometown on Sunday, Kamala Harris will be making hers on Tuesday at the Ellipse here in Washington, D.C. More than 38 million people have already cast their ballots, but according to the polls, they're neck and neck in the 7 swing states that will determine the result of this race. Iran has vowed to respond to Saturday's retaliatory strikes by Israel on Tehran. Iran, however, says it doesn't want a war, with more Gaza ceasefire negotiations planned in Doha. Sarah Coates has more from Tel Aviv.
We did hear from the Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, whose first public statements after Saturday's attacks on Iran. He said he's happy with the result, also saying, whoever hurts us, we will hurt them. We do also understand that these senior Israelis also have spoken with senior US counterparts about strategic opportunities with regards to these strikes. But really the concern here is that this once shadow war is now very much in the open. It's still unclear as to whether the Iranians will in fact respond.
And exit polls show Japan's ruling party is projected to lose its parliamentary majority after the country went to the polls. Rebecca Bundan reports from Tokyo.
This election is really seen as a major test for the ruling LDP and for Japan's new Prime Minister, Shigeru Ishiba, who only came to power a few weeks ago when he was elected as a leader by the party. And he actually called this snap election, but it's something that could potentially backfire for him, and especially from the exit polls that we're seeing coming through so far, that it looks like that could well be the case, that the party could lose seats, and that's due to several factors, including scandals that have really plagued the party, including in particular a political fundraising scandal. And there are other issues that voters have been concerned about as well, which have perhaps led some people to vote differently, and that includes issues around the economy. Particularly inflation has been a big challenge for citizens in Japan, including high electricity prices.
From bureaus worldwide, this is FSN.
With FSN Spotlight, I'm Simon Marks, looking today in more detail at a decision by India and China to bury the hatchet over a border dispute that has lasted since the 1960s. They have agreed to deconfliction along the so-called line of control that separates the two countries in the mountains of the Himalayas. They have engaged in a military standoff in that icy, inhospitable terrain for decades. But analyst Bob McMahon of America's Council on Foreign Relations says the agreement could be the beginning of the standoff's end.
It's the first time in more than 5 years that they had formal talks. They've had informal talks, but these were formal talks they had on the sidelines of the BRICS summit, and details are still to come, and those are going to be really important to watch. But this line of actual control, which is more than 2,100 miles, they are now saying they will jointly patrol contested areas. These were what you would call confidence-building measures, because both sides have been building things like roads, seen as the run-up to seizing more territory or bringing in more military materiel and so forth to be able to beef up their presence and create facts on the ground for what they claim to be their place it's still a long road ahead for them to get into any sort of process where they can actually mark out an agreed upon border. But it's still in all really important.
The deal was announced at the BRICS summit last week in the Russian city of Kazan, and it was partly brokered by Russian President Vladimir Putin after several rounds of talks over many weeks. With FSN Spotlight, I'm Simon Marks.
The main headlines again. With just over a week to go until Election Day, Donald Trump and Kamala Harris have been crossing the United States, making their final pitches to voters. Iran has vowed to respond to Saturday's retaliatory strikes by Israel on Tehran. And exit polls show Japan's ruling party is projected to lose its parliamentary majority.
Buying a burger might start taking a bite out of your wallet. Meat prices skyrocketed this week after the place that makes the meat revealed that the cow smashing machine is all beefed up.
This machine has beef way up in it. The basher, the meat collector, even the main meat hole, all of it. Lousy with beef.
The cow smashing machine is an integral part of the meat making process, taking whole big cows into one end, with all different meats falling out the other. Supermarket chains warn that unless we start smashing cows again soon, we could face a serious beef shortage. The beef industry is working hard to unclog the cow smasher, but says it could take several days or even weeks to scoop all the beef that's crammed up in there. Until it's fixed, meat-hungry Americans can take solace in the fact that the chicken grinder is working at full capacity, just completely tearing up all those chickens, and the pig machine is porking out hardcore. Up next, bluesmen find a rising trend of their babies done leaving on that their old devil train.
This is the Onion News Network.
Don't miss a moment of Free Talk Live. Get our archives daily via our podcast at feeds.freetalklive.com. Free Talk Live.
It's Free Talk Live, 603-283-6160. Free Talk Live is brought to you by LibertyMinded.com. Official Free Talk Live gear like t-shirts and hoodies are available at LibertyMinded.com. Plus, you'll find a unique collection of cool and funny Liberty-oriented clothing at LibertyMinded.com. That's LibertyMinded.com. In the studio is Lori,
Bonnie,
and Richie Rich.
And we have a bunch of calls still, so we're going to go to the phones. And first we have Kadu in Connecticut. Kadu.
Lori, I've got a very educational and informative documentary we can watch together if you would go on a date with me.
It doesn't have to be a date. You guys can just sleep in the same bed and watch this documentary together.
Hey, that's a date. This is 2024.
It's just hanging out.
I guess it depends on the documentary. And if my husband approves.
You will learn so much and he'll be so happy you said yes.
Why are you talking like
watch Am I
Trump,
Racist?
kind of?
I mean, I would watch that. If somebody was like, would you like to come hang out with me and watch Am I Racist? I'd be like, yes, absolutely, let's go.
I do want to watch it.
I was trying to talk retarded, but no, that was a good movie. Are you going to watch it?
I want to watch it, yeah.
Ever since you brought it up, I've been interested, but not enough to like think about it outside of doing the show and look it up. And
I'm just waiting for it to hit torrent sites.
All right, I'm going to take a drive to New Hampshire. We're going to do that. We're going to all be in the same bed. But
it's a group date.
Seriously, but I mean, as long as everyone consents. But seriously, I was going to say this. When you were knitting the other night, I have to say that is very sexy for a woman to be knitting. Like, I think if you showed up in sexy lingerie, whatever
Who's
it
knitting
is.
or crocheting? You?
Lori.
Okay.
whatever it is. No, if you were
Depends how
in
many
probably
needles you
sexy
use.
5 in her hand, just doing something.
If you were in sexy lingerie the whole night, it probably would not be as attractive as. There's something on a biological level about a woman knitting.
You had some weird thing with your grandma.
What if she crocheted a teddy for you?
What if I crochet in lingerie? I found a new job, guys.
Yeah, actually streaming that.
So rich.
I bet that would totally take off as a streaming thing, because like there are people that just record themselves like doing their homework. And like not dressed up in lingerie at all.
I don't have.
I know.
I'll wear lingerie.
I don't have.
I'll knit and I'll complain about the government. And now I'm a billionaire.
I don't have.
You should.
I don't have any money, but I would lose all my money to that. I would pour all my money into that.
You're gonna have to like sell feet pics or something because it's paid only.
You'll be able to promote it for.
So what is?
Refer 3 friends, get 1 month free.
But now I'm kind of curious. What is the difference between knitting and crocheting?
The amount of needles.
Yeah, knitting is 2 needles and crocheting is 1 needle.
Oh, I didn't know that.
And it's actually not a needle; it's a hook.
Whatever.
And isn't the knit one just like straight, and the other one is a hook?
Yeah, crochet has a hook, and
always wondered-
knitting has 2 needles that are pointed at the end.
I always wonder how the straight pointed knitting needles do anything, but not enough to look it up.
Knitting's faster, and you can do knitting with a machine, but you can't do crochet with a machine.
Ooh.
So I'm
Do you
fancier.
agree with me at all, Richie, or am I just out in left field with this thing?
In general, like I don't
like knitting. It's attractive to watch a woman knitting.
I do not share that fascination.
Oh,
That's what I'm saying. It might have been something that happened early on in your childhood. Your grandma knitted.
My grandma did crochet. I used to have a bunch of blankets that my grandma crocheted.
My mom did too.
So, and I think my other grandma may have knitted, but I don't have any blankets.
I think it's maybe like because I have a skill.
Because it's like a.
You know, like a woman working with her hands is the biblical thing.
It's like a. It's like a traditionally feminine activity or something like that.
Okay. I'm not disagreeing with you. I just it doesn't turn me on.
I'm just not. I'm not gay, but I could
Yeah.
see it being like the. I don't know. It's like a skill, and women working with their hands. It's hot for women to see, like whenever Ian just knows how to fix some computer problem, it's hot for no reason.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, you are like a genius.
Like it is coded into women's brains. If you roll your sleeve up halfway up your arm, immediately hotter.
Why?
Because you're about to do work. Men, they're about to do something. Work
Can't
style
wait for
things,
winter.
right?
We get the
Just
long sleeves out
slightly
and
up.
roll them up.
Slightly up.
Right before you start to like eat, just anything.
Basically, what Bonnie's saying is, I'm not gay, but it does turn me on immensely. But anyway,
No, I'm not. Everybody wants completely straight women to be gay.
I wanted to call about the thing from the other week. I hate to diss your ex-boyfriend, Bonnie, but I have to say, Scooby-Doo
Oh
did
yeah.
absolutely nothing. Did absolutely nothing for me. Like
It wasn't that it was hot. So to be clear,
No,
You didn't have a thing for Daphne?
I did not have a thing for Daphne,
No,
but and I.
no,
Oh,
could
him.
do.
Okay.
Maybe he is gay. Daphne was hot.
Velma.
Velma was nerdy.
Velma's the one though.
Daphne was prettier.
I would. Look,
Some people say
as a
Daphne
kid,
was thicker, and I don't know if that's true. Like thinking back,
No,
Velma was.
gotta
or I
check
meant to
it
say
out.
Velma.
But-
Sorry. Yeah. Sorry. Go ahead.
As a kid, right, I would space out at the television. I would watch terrible shows on Nickelodeon and Disney Channel, and I'd flick back and forth, and I would just space out at them. And they weren't even good shows, but I would watch them rotting my brain. But like Scooby-Doo, that was not like I had so little interest in that.
Oh,
that,
I
like,
see what you're
I
saying
would
now.
Not even
Okay.
space out at it.
Yay.
It did nothing for me.
I see what you're saying. I thought you were saying Scooby Doo did nothing for you because
Team
he was
Scooby Doo is terrible.
No.
because he was my
I'm talking about
boyfriend
the
as a
show.
kid. Yeah, no, I get it now.
It was not good.
Daphne.
Did you watch
Yeah,
the
no,
show
no,
Scooby Doo?
I'm-
Like
Yeah.
any iteration? Did
talking
you
about-
like it?
I would watch it when it was on when I was a kid. Yeah,
That was my like number one thing up until I was like, I got a huge Scooby Doo doll when I turned 4, and I remember that birthday so well. Scooby Doo themed and everything.
And then they had a wedding.
But I just, no.
I don't remember all
we
the
did.
stories because, like you said, it's all the same story. But
So then you do remember all the stories because it's all the same story.
oh yeah, but I
Old
couldn't.
Mr. Jenkins is a monster.
Yeah, and next week it was like Mr. Johnson.
Mhm.
But I don't,
But one thing about it is just like so satisfying. Like every time they eat or something, I just love that. Every like little background noise and stuff, I just love that. Like
Okay.
whenever they eat the giant sandwiches.
Do you
And,
like Do you like ASMR stuff?
Yes,
Okay.
but only
is that?
certain ones, like very specific
ASMR is
ones.
like the noises, like
Oh, okay.
I don't like any of the ones with people chewing and mouth noises. That's disgusting. I like chalk. I like soap. I can't think of any more right now because
I like the sports chalk. But it's more of like the visual along with the popping sound.
This is soothing for you?
Even when I was a kid,
It's not soothing for me. It's just
satisfying.
Satisfying, yeah.
It's both to me. Like sometimes when I really can't sleep, which is rare, and I've tried everything, I'll turn on soap cutting, and that one is so good. It's visual and sound. It's like that. It's almost like a click when it cuts and it comes off, and then they'll cut it into like a grid, and then it's like a bunch of beads of soap breaking off.
I turn on the AI audiobook and
I never could understand ASMR until I saw the sports chalk one. I was like, oh, okay, I like that one. But then I really got it because I found some guy who reads he's Russian. No, he's German, and he reads really softly, and he has like a super deep voice. And I was like, there we go. See, I'm telling you, I need the Slavic, like,
I get
German
it.
German person.
I'm not even saying it doesn't exist.
It's so good for the brain.
It wasn't how I narrowed mine down.
I haven't really gotten into any of the ones of people speaking, but I kind of understand it in a way. Like certain noises people like make with their mouths, and like a really sensitive microphone. Like it's like invokes memories of being a kid, and like you're in the auditorium and the teacher is talking on like a microphone. You can hear every but some of them gross me out because they overdo it.
Yeah, I don't like listening to people eat.
Nope.
I can only fall
smacking
asleep to
noises.
nails on a chalkboard.
Screams of the tortured.
Even when I was a kid, it was like certain like special effects in movies and shows. One of them that I was like, oh, I just love to hear that sound. And this was way before YouTube and ASMR. Was anytime you're watching like a Egypt themed or pyramid themed type of episode of some cartoon or show, and like a rock wall opens, it's like, and that is so similar to the chalk sounds I love.
Interesting.
So when I got older, I was like, what is that?
I have like a real life ASMR one. Is when it snows outside and the snow is like perfect and like that layer of crunchy snow on top.
Oh yeah.
And you step in it and it goes under your foot. It is
I can't relate
so
to any of
amazing.
this.
I love
it's
that
so
too.
amazing.
Oh my
I
God,
recognize
so-
those sounds, but I have no desire to
It's
hear them
pure
out of
bliss
context.
in my brain when I walk in the
One
snow
thing
and
I
it
don't
crunches.
get, people say that they get tingles. I don't get tingles anywhere in my body.
That only happens to me when I'm listening to really good music.
It's just satisfying.
Like I
and,
break out in goosebumps
You
and
get
stuff.
goosebumps though?
Maybe the
Yeah.
porn moan.
I've gotten
break out in
goosebumps by hearing someone tell something emotional, by hearing someone singing really well, or you know, like music. But no, not ASMR at all.
Yeah, no, just
Not
music.
slime videos. Even though I like some slime too.
Are you
Or if I
gonna
have to touch a cotton ball.
Are you going to start a crunchy snow? Are you going to start a crunchy snow YouTube channel?
While knitting.
While knitting in my lingerie and yelling about the government.
It's not going to be on YouTube, man. You got to pay for this.
Yeah, this is
You can
yeah,
have
exactly.
You can have all my money.
Patreon.
It's like
Anything
an
else?
amplifier program just for Lori.
Yeah, that's right. Anything else could do?
No, that was really it. But it was just the thing. Like I used to watch these terrible shows and space out at them, Nickelodeon, Disney Channel. But like,
Which one?
Scooby-Doo was not
Give us an
even
example
one
of some that you like.
Double
that
Dare.
I would space out at.
No, not that you would space
I
out
didn't
at like
even
one that
them,
you
but
thought
just
was good.
everything on the Disney Channel.
Just
Like,
any show.
literally, I would even watch that terrible. I know. I would literally watch that like Lizzie McGuire show. I would watch that. I would space out at that. But the Scooby Doo, I would never watch that.
I think you're probably just like older than if you'd watch Lizzie McGuire. I was 0% interested in it when it came out, and I was like,
Scooby Doo's from like the 70s, though.
yeah, no, but no, I know. I meant Lizzie McGuire. I was like 8 when it went out,
It's not good.
and it was too old for me.
I don't mind admitting it to it now, but I also used to watch like Gem and the Holograms. But I knew it was wrong, so I used to put a blanket over me and the TV and turn the volume down so no one could see what I
Why
was
was
watching.
it wrong?
Because it's a chick cartoon.
I was Gem when I was like 4 or 5. I have a
All right.
Halloween picture
All
of
right.
me being Gem from Gem and the Holograms.
I gotta see if
It was
I
a great show.
It was a great show. It apparently only had like 3 seasons, but
Just seen the Pussycats.
I was never
not big.
like, I was never told
got the
like that's a
DVDs.
boy thing or that's a girl thing. Like I used to watch He-Man.
I
and
knew
stuff,
it was a
and
girl thing.
I
You
was
can't
never.
call it was a soap opera cartoon for chicks.
That's all like
This?
wrestling is a soap operas.
Yes,
And
I
that's
love
for
professional
men,
wrestling.
and that's for men.
Yes,
No.
for men.
I didn't like soap operas though. Like my
Okay.
mom used to watch soap operas when I was a kid, and I always hated it so much.
Don't
I was
worry,
like,
they're not.
They're so badly acted.
They're not biological females, so it's fine. It's for.
It's AI females. It's a hologram.
No,
it's
my-
literally a hologram.
Yeah, I have a picture of myself dressed up like that for Halloween.
Nice.
Yeah, as a little kid.
I was just saying
That
we
was
look
so
like
cool.
trannies.
Anyway, Lori, we'll
Check out the other
Hey,
band.
I'll pimp out my Patreon when I get it
Look for the
started for you,
Misfits.
Kadoo.
3-way date next time.
This was the 80s.
We'll talk about that 3-way thing. Okay, bye bye.
All right, bye.
This was the 80s. Dude dressed like chicks and chicks dressed like dudes, and they
Oh.
all call it rock.
You're saying check out the Misfits.
The Misfits
The bands themselves.
from the
I didn't like. I didn't like 80s hairband style guys.
Okay.
I always thought it was weird, like Dee Snider and all of that.
Very weird.
I think we
very
talked about
weird,
this.
and like I found it to be off-putting, the whole aesthetic they had going.
I don't understand.
I don't like the music either.
androgynous men. And my mom, she was born 1970, so she's older than you. She liked hairband androgynous men. I just don't know any examples.
I don't have a problem with androgynous men. Like David Bowie was so cool.
Okay. Well,
Cool.
like, but
It's
was
just
he
the
hot?
hair. David Bowie's not really hot. He's just.
I don't think so.
Cool.
My mom thought androgyny was hot for a
Mm.
while when she was like a teenager. I just can't
Sounds
imagine
like your
thinking
mom
that.
likes ladies.
But there's also, I don't know, but there is also people who like androgynous guys now in a totally different way. Like
Yeah, the left.
Timothy, dang, I forgot his name. Timothy Chalamet. Yeah.
He's
and other
very
kinds.
non-masculine.
There's also just like more like YouTubers, TikTokers here and there that like are definitely not masculine in a totally different way, like more like emo and stuff like that. And that's been a thing my whole like adolescence and up until now, that people like my age will be into that, and I don't get it. Like a guy who like paints their nails black, that's not hot to me.
I liked it better when Saturday Night Live made fun of those people.
Mm-hmm.
You had Pat and Lyle, the effeminate heterosexual.
Pat is just always the name of those people that you can't tell if they're boy or girl.
Alex.
It always is.
Mm-hmm.
There's
so don't
actually
name your kids that.
there's
Yeah,
actually
don't name your kid
somebody.
Pat.
I have to go to this gas station very often. It's just like the best place to stop when visiting Ian. It's just on the way. And I actually really like the gas station, so like I could choose a different one, but I go to this one because it's like a good gas station, good place to stop to pee and get stuff. But the person's name is Ashley, and I really can't tell if they're a boy or girl. Leaning towards boy. They don't look trans, like they're trying to look either way. They have long hair, and the name Ashley used to be a boy's name, so I'm like, maybe his mom named him Ashley to be like different. I have no clue.
I'm
I know boys and girls named Val.
I'm kind of impressed with like androgynous people, just because I feel like it's a hard thing to achieve, to be like so androgynous that nobody can tell if you are a man or a woman. And I'm like, wow, good job.
Especially like
achieving
the voice.
that look.
Like this person doesn't have a screaming male or screaming female voice. Maybe they're like purposely trying to stay quiet because maybe they're non-binary or something, but they're not like blue hair or anything that like throws that in your face. You know what I mean? It's very hard.
Those are the people that I'm down with, like being like they.
I'm okay
Yeah.
with like
As a-
men and other. Because if you're a real
Men and
man,
other?
because if you're a real man, you know you're a man.
Mhm.
And if you're not sure, just other.
I wasn't sure for the first few months when I moved here about you. I'm just
Okay.
kidding. I'm joking.
Was it the beard?
I'm just kidding.
I was talking about that the other
The
day.
long hair might throw people.
Wait, no, it's the kilt. I'm just
Oh, yeah,
kidding. I'm
okay.
joking. I made that part up, but you were wearing a kilt,
Yeah,
so that made it
and
That's
funny.
all he wears, exclusively kilts.
He
He's got a
used
kilt on
to.
right now.
I would.
He used
I
to.
would, but I got fat and I can't fit them anymore.
Just buy a bigger kilt.
I don't want to spend money on bigger
Yeah,
kilts.
those are
I want to lose
expensive, right?
weight.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you guys got them for cheaper too, because the kilt
'Cause we sponsored
people
it,
was
yeah.
a sponsor for a while.
Men who don't wear like kilts are missing out on the whole skirt experience.
No, it's great.
Skirts
I
are
would-
wonderful.
I would wear it exclusively if I like slim back down to it.
Mhm.
Except like I had, this was from a different company, but I had one that looked like a jumper.
It
was like
didn't actually make
overall
me-
kilts.
Nice.
Yeah.
It didn't actually.
Yeah, kind of.
I didn't actually think you were female or anything. It was too perfect once I remembered you wore a kilt.
Yeah.
I had to say it.
Men are missing out on leggings too. Skirts and leggings.
No.
Yeah.
Most comfortable things on earth.
Like you were
wear.
saying, you can't wear skinny jeans in the winter because you need something under to be comfortable and
Yeah.
warm. I wear
Leggings.
leggings under my skinny jeans.
Yeah, but I could get a thick kilt and like thick socks, and then the only thing that's cold is my knees, and that's fine.
I'm shocked that keeps you warm. And I used to think that, I probably even asked you guys that because it was like you and Mark and maybe Peakless Mountaineer.
Maybe.
I don't remember
Ian
now.
flat out refused.
Yeah.
He said, why'd you even get one for me? I'm not
Aren't you
wearing
supposed
it.
to wear those
Whoa, I
like
didn't know he had one.
over the knee socks with the leg suspender things when you wear a kilt?
You don't. I mean, you can wear what you want.
That's what keeps your knees warm.
Yeah,
In the
that's what I was
winter,
wondering.
yeah.
And then your kilt blows up and everybody sees your little garters.
Yeah, but I mean, I've got knee-high socks. I've got, almost knee-high socks that are thick and tactical.
I know you're making a joke, but I also don't really think the kilts would fly up much. Like they're so thick.
I've seen
Yeah.
videos.
I've never seen a kilt
I mean, if I
until
twirled,
then.
maybe.
Yeah, or if it's really windy.
No. I mean, like this was a thick kilt. Like it wasn't.
Maybe it was
good.
like a summer kilt that I saw.
Oh
Maybe.
yeah, Mark wore it recently too. He wore his kilt to Liberty Forum.
I would assume that they have different
I've got
thicknesses of kilts
I've
for
got a
different
denim
seasons.
kilt.
Probably.
A denim kilt.
Yeah.
Interesting.
And it's
I've
got
never even heard.
like a hidden pocket under the front flap.
Of course it has a pocket. Men get pockets in their skirts and we don't.
Well, people are trying to complain to get rid of them now because people are saying, I have bigger hips. And you people who wanted, I don't understand what it has to do with having bigger hips, but they say, you people who wanted pockets in your skirts are ruining it for us girls with big hips. I don't get it. Like, I
Because
don't.
it can't fit through the door if you put stuff in the pocket.
I have big hips.
I went on to the comments.
I love dresses and skirts with pockets.
I was trying to figure out what their reasoning is, and I haven't figured it out.
Does it make their hips look bigger?
Maybe that's it. They don't want their hips to look bigger because I kind of think that
just embrace the Jessica Rabbit of it. And be
yeah,
like,
why would
I
you
got
not?
huge hips.
Why would you not want big hips? Maybe that's it, and that's so dumb. Like I don't know any reason to not want bigger hips.
Yeah, I don't know.
Like
it's feminine.
Ian is not into fat at all, but that doesn't mean he would be. Like, he's the only guy I know that's like that. But he wouldn't be anti-hips on somebody whose legs are still small. It's not like the same thing as, like, a fake butt.
Right.
Like, on skinny legs. Nobody's against bigger hips. This is just women, too, in their brains.
Yeah. The only difficulty with the kilt is you can't wear a drop leg holster. Couldn't figure that one out.
So then what do you do? Just, like, a waist?
Yeah, I just have a belt.
Did you look into concealed carry or kilt carry at all?
You should get like the kind that
Not
go
really.
here so that you can like reach in Matrix style.
Oh,
Yeah,
I thought
you
you
could
meant
do
the female one that goes like in between your boobs, which
No.
seems terrifying. I don't want to.
Yeah, I wouldn't want one there. I would put it on my leg, on my
It was
thigh
weird because
if I
you could
had
get
to
like a
have one.
garter holster. Eh,
Yeah, it's very what's where like Charlie's Angels.
I don't want to have to like lift the kilt to get there.
Why? Intimidate him twice.
What's that?
I said intimidate him twice.
Oh, okay.
First thing you do, they're like, "Hold on, man," and then the second thing you do is shoot them.
That's right.
Oh my
Keep
god.
him guessing. So I just want to finish just the last little bit of this. I'm going to skip over a bunch, but at the end it says, the listing notes that special operations troops will use this capability to gather information. Oh, this is about everybody listening, in case you weren't listening earlier. This is about the Pentagon using AI to create fake people that are indistinguishable from real people.
Real NPCs to intersperse with the real NPCs.
Aside from the real NPCs that you meet out in the world. So it says the listing notes that the special operation troops will use the capability to gather information from public online forums with no further explanation of how these artificial internet users will be used. This more detailed procurement listing shows that the United States pursues the exact same technologies and techniques it condemns in the hands of geopolitical foes. Of course, obviously.
We're trying to compete with China.
China.
China already has them, so now we have to have them.
They
for
are
defense.
actually trying to compete with China. The United States is on par now with its DNA registries. The amount of DNA that they've collected on American citizens is on par with how much China has collected on their citizens.
Goes like it like really goes with what Aaron Day was saying yesterday when he was saying people are all scared of this stuff coming that's already here.
That's right.
Like people are always like, we might end up like China, but we already are. They just don't admit it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and you are the biggest product that this country has. 603-283-6160. Free Talk Live.
Free Talk Live.
Is everything that you've spoken of about the government tonight has been in a negative connotation.
What is there to like about the federal government?
Tell me what's great about the United States federal government.
Protection. They protect us.
They've got a military that's 9 times the next closest military. That's a protection I'm forced to pay for.
The terrorists will tell you the reason why they're engaging in terrorist activities, if they are inside the United States, is because of what the U.S. government's military is doing. They're putting us in greater danger through their actions, sir.
When is the last time that you've watched someone else stab someone blatantly or blown themselves up?
That has nothing to do with the federal government.
An armed populace is what keeps a particular area safe, not soldiers.
Yeah, right.
Soldiers are all over the place in Venezuela.
Yeah. Free Talk Live, 7 nights a week from 7 to 10 Eastern at freetalklive.com.
From Feature Story News in Washington, I'm Jagruti Dave. With just over a week to go until Election Day, Donald Trump and Kamala Harris have been crossing the United States, making their final pitches to voters. The latest polls indicate the race is still effectively a dead heat. Both Donald Trump and Kamala Harris ended the weekend with rallies, but while the Republican chose to hold his at the iconic Madison Square Garden in the thus far solidly blue state of New York, Kamala Harris picked the crucial swing state of Pennsylvania. On Saturday in Michigan, another swing state, Donald Trump tried to reach out to Muslim voters, disillusioned with the White House over its approach to the Israel-Gaza war. And while Donald Trump made his closing argument in his hometown on Sunday, Kamala Harris will be making hers on Tuesday at the Ellipse here in Washington, D.C. More than 38 million people have already cast their ballots, but according to the polls, they're neck and neck in the 7 swing states that will determine the result of this race. Iran has vowed to respond to Saturday's retaliatory strikes by Israel on Tehran. Iran, however, says it doesn't want a war, with more Gaza ceasefire negotiations planned in Doha. Sarah Coates has more from Tel Aviv.
We did hear from the Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, whose first public statements after Saturday's attacks on Iran. He said he's happy with the result, also saying, whoever hurts us, we will hurt them. We do also understand that these senior Israelis also have spoken with senior US counterparts about strategic opportunities with regards to these strikes. But really the concern here is that this once shadow war is now very much in the open. It's still unclear as to whether the Iranians will in fact respond.
And exit polls show Japan's ruling party is projected to lose its parliamentary majority after the country went to the polls. Rebecca Bundan reports from Tokyo.
This election is really seen as a major test for the ruling LDP and for Japan's new Prime Minister, Shigeru Ishiba, who only came to power a few weeks ago when he was elected as a leader by the party. And he actually called this snap election, but it's something that could potentially backfire for him, and especially from the exit polls that we're seeing coming through so far, it looks like that could well be the case, that the party could lose seats, and that's due to several factors, including scandals that have really plagued the party, including in particular a political fundraising scandal. And there are other issues that voters have been concerned about as well, which have perhaps led some people to vote differently, and that includes issues around the economy. Particularly inflation has been a big challenge for citizens.
We're still not sure why you'd want to watch, but our video feed is streaming nightly for free at cam.freetalklive.com.
It's Free Talk Live, talk radio you control. Call in at 603-283-6160. Get on the radio, talk about whatever's on your mind. I'd like to thank Dodger for being an amplifier with us here at Free Talk Live. That means that Dodger went to amps.freetalklive.com and signed up to support the show. AMP stands for Advertise, Market, Promote, and Support. Thanks to Dodger and everyone who supports us. Again, that's amps.freetalklive.com if you'd like to check out the perks and benefits of becoming an amplifier. In the studio is Lori.
Me, Bonnie.
And Richie Rich.
And we're going to go right to the phones. We got Sarah in New Mexico. Hi, Sarah.
Oh, yes. When I would talk with you, I just want to say that here in New Mexico, we got those ballot drop-off boxes. And I think I walked by one of those, and I'm like, what is this metal box doing here? I didn't know at that time what it was. Yeah, it was put by the county clerk office, a metal copper-looking box.
Where do they put it? Like on the side of the road?
It was right
in the crosswalk
next to the new county clerk building. So they built a brand new county, their own place, and they put a box. And there's another box down the street within our county.
Is it kind of in the yard? By the sidewalk?
No, like inside, right next to the sidewalk, a little bit further in. Not on the sidewalk, but a little bit further in.
That is kind of weird. I never knew that was a thing at all. Maybe it's new because of mail-in ballots being...
And the sense of adventure. Like, oh my God, this is so new. I can't believe it. I need to tell someone about this on national radio. There's a new box that showed up in my town.
Living your life in wonder.
Yes.
Well, the thing is, I heard about it in other states, but we never had these here in the state of New Mexico.
So what did they do with the votes?
Oh, here's the thing. It was announced.
Set them on fire.
Might as well in New Mexico. They're going to vote Democrat.
Oh, all of New Mexico throwing away your vote because you're voting against what Bonnie wants.
No, I was even saying you might as well throw them away. I was saying we already know they're going to vote Democrat. I wasn't saying get rid of the state's vote.
Get rid of the state? Bonnie wants to get rid of the state of New Mexico.
Just call it Mexico.
The presidential is not important in their state. What counts for our state is I voted for the ones that go to Santa Fe.
That's true for every state. That's more important for every state, I'd say.
Right, but that was on this ballot. And what counts is the 2 senators that we sent to Washington and then the 3 representatives that we sent to House representatives. That's what counts. Our presidential don't mean much.
I don't think that means as much as even like the people in your own state, like not the ones you send to Washington, you know?
The state house and the state senate.
Yeah.
Right. But you want people feel that local state government, they feel the city government because they see the actual laws being passed and implemented in the city. So people feel that you impact the budget.
I'm thinking that Sarah doesn't know that there's state representatives that go to Washington, and then there's just state representatives that stay in the state.
Well, that's what I voted for both of them. On this ballot, there was one that stayed
both of them as in what?
State.
Oh, okay. All right, you do know.
I had 51 things on this ballot. They had city issue, they had state issue. The senator that stay within our state, the roundhouse, and I also voted for senator and rep, the House of Rep that goes to Washington. They were on the ballot. I mean, they had everything: county questions, city questions. I couldn't believe that they stopped at 51, and there was another ballot that had 81 things on the ballot.
That's how voting works.
Okay, go ahead.
That's a lot.
Sarah, were there any things on your ballot where you had to vote yes or no to like an initiative instead of voting for a person?
Oh yeah, we had a whole bunch of constitutional amendments.
Wow.
And then
it's more than an initiative.
Anyway, it's we had voter set, and then most of the voters, they have no clue what they're voting for. And then one of the issue was there was a bond for the veterans. The veterans, if you're 100% disabled, you get your no taxes on your property. This question was if they're
go ahead. Sorry.
If they're partially disabled, you want them to be tax free. I mean, the property to be exempt.
I don't like veterans, but I'm okay with being tax free.
Yeah, you should vote that if you want New Mexico to have more people moving there and also because
more disabled veterans.
And because it's right. So yeah, but if they're partially disabled, that can mean almost nothing. That can mean like nothing's wrong with them.
But the catch is that people that are not veterans, their taxes get raised. Their property tax gets raised $80 per year.
Well, screw those veterans.
I have a question. Did you go somewhere to like a Democratic meeting and have them tell you like, vote yes on this one, vote no on that one, or did you decide it all yourself when you voted?
Well, I found out that the property tax gets raised after I voted, and I found that on the radio show, a KKOB Collins show. There was a tax assessor that discussed that. They said that if you vote yes, it's good for the veterans, but everybody else, that they will have their property tax raised by $80 per year.
That's horrible. Yeah, they should have to disclose that on your voting thing or something. I just asked because I held signs in Dublin in 2018 or whenever it's the last time we had voting for, or not 2018, sorry, I meant to say 2022. That's the last time we had voting in New Hampshire, but for the state only. But anyways, there were a bunch of Democrat ladies I somewhat befriended there, and they and the other people, they were standing around holding signs for their candidates.
Infiltrated.
And people would come in, and they're about to walk inside to go vote, so they would come to the parking lot, and they'd walk up to those Democrat ladies first and be like, I don't remember. Do we vote yes or no on the initiative? It's not actually an initiative. I can't remember the word, but do we vote yes or no? And they were like, you vote no for this one, yes for this one, no. They were like, okay, thanks for reminding me. Because they had went to like a group Democrat meeting and they got told exactly how to vote. And they were like, just...
They bring their little like cheat sheet in with them? That's crazy.
That was crazy.
The libertarians here do that too. They rank all the policies and tell people how to vote for them.
That's crazy. You shouldn't listen to other people telling you how to vote.
No, they just give it a Liberty score.
Yes.
But that's different than like, I'm not even going to like read it. And that's like I guess that's different to me because it's the House of Representatives.
But they give you the score because it's impossible for everyone to read all of those things.
Yeah, but.
And so they're like, well, if you want to be liberty friendly.
That's because that's for the U.S. House of Representatives and they don't have a lot of time to read all that stuff. So the, that organization that does that is pretty helpful. But this is like, there are 3 things to vote for.
Yeah.
And it's the personal votes, not House of Representatives. I'm talking about like when you go in, sometimes there's initiative on your ballot.
Right.
I'm not saying it's wrong.
And if they're going like, this is a vote for liberty, this is not a vote for liberty, this is a vote for liberty, you'd want to know that.
That wouldn't be like the worst thing in the world or anything, but also you should be able to read like 2 things and find out if you agree or disagree and vote yes or no. That's the thing. Like I don't
feel
think
like
people have the ability
them in importance and being like, these are the things you should pay attention to. This is what it's about. But just being like, oh, on number whatever, vote no.
Yeah.
Like that's a little different.
And the fact that they're like walking in, they're like, oh, I don't remember.
But they have shared beliefs. And so they want to vote with their beliefs.
I could
some
trust.
Of the language is confusing.
I would trust that libertarians here, if they were telling me that something here was good, like vote yes, like I ask Ian to help me with that stuff too.
Yeah.
But it's not that I would just blindly trust it, and if I forgot if it was yes or no, I wouldn't just try to read it myself and discover it. Like, I don't know.
Well, that's the thing. The language is confusing. If you were confused and you forgot which way it's supposed to be, you just go, hey, Ian, what were we supposed to do again?
I guess so. Still, it's like...
The thing about those...
they weren't asking it like...
The amendments is that it'll like work itself out like in a lump in a batter if you let it sit. If it's a bad policy, if the voters don't know what they're voting, they vote opposite of what's the best interest, all those policies will get eventually worked out.
That's not true. We're inundated with bad policies that haven't gotten
especially like
rid of.
Constitutional amendment. Those are pretty big.
I mean, look at it. Felons losing the right to vote for the rest of their life was a bad policy. But that was a law that was passed, but it got worked itself out. Alaska, if you finish your probation, now you can vote.
We still have an income tax.
Who does?
See, and then,
people in general.
You know,
oh, yeah, people in general. Federal
the income tax was like a temporary measure.
New Hampshire doesn't have one, though.
Yeah, but you still pay the feds if you got a real job, right? Pay the feds. But that was a temporary measure. That was only supposed to be for like the upper echelon of wealthy people, right? Passports was a temporary wartime measure. That lump in a powder doesn't go anywhere. There's nothing more permanent than a temporary government program.
Yeah.
It sticks around.
Right. And
they keep reauthorizing the Patriot Act.
yeah, and the most that happens is they like move the lump around a little, and they're like, "Look, it's better, but it's still there."
That's what I was gonna say. Sometimes the worst. A lump in the batter doesn't get addressed, and then it's a weird little dusty part in your cake or whatever in your muffin.
They've gotten a little better with like
actually
butter.
shouldn't overstir your muffins.
That stays forever. But you know,
I don't want
overall,
dusty parts either.
I'm excited about these little boxes, you know, because I guess but the thing is, our state never.
Are they
uses
locked
those
down,
boxes.
or are people going to like run up and steal them?
No, the thing is that you could drop the ballots, but here's the thing: our state gives them 4 weeks to early vote. If you're stupid enough to can't finish your absentee ballot and hand it in and mail it in by 4 weeks, what is wrong with you?
It's so funny how
You know what I
Sarah like unashamedly makes fun of stupid people or like condemns stupid people all the time. It's just so funny.
Let's see how IQ in New Mexico.
She calls them all stupid. She admits it. Sarah, sorry.
Well, that's it. I mean, how they're telling people now you can't mail it. Now drop them up in the mailbox. It's too close. Yeah, that before this ballot boxes, we used to have like 100, I don't know, like just in our county, like, I don't know, maybe like 15,000 ballots that come in after the date. And they don't even know it. They're clueless. This is how it used to be. That's how the Xochitl Torres at the District 2 she won.
2 weeks shouldn't be too late. I send things from Keene to Massachusetts to Ian all the time that take like 5 days. If I want it to take less time, I'll send it from the UPS store next to where his prison is, and it takes like. And the other thing is they have to look through his mail, so it shouldn't take 2 weeks to send something from Albuquerque to Santa Fe. Doesn't seem like it.
Well, it doesn't go to Santa Fe. It goes to county clerk here. But
duh. But
it's
that's
Albuquerque
even
to
more of
Albuquerque.
it's even more of my point.
Down
Shouldn't
the
take
street.
2 weeks.
Hire
Well,
a
I
courier.
mean, if you listen to how Sarah describes the people there, maybe their mail system is just run by the same people.
Yeah, that's true.
So they send it like out of state first, and then it comes back.
That's happened with like a package. It got all the way to Massachusetts and rerouted to Chicago.
Of yours?
Yeah.
And it has all the stamps on
Before
it.
they came back to New Hampshire or something.
Yeah, well, then it got
I don't know
rerouted
if
back. I'm like, hey, I think the package is lost.
Wow, that's never happened to me. I'd be so mad.
Government programs.
Just
I
because
don't
this.
know about all that, but I mean, how daily do you have to be? You can't get about they give you 4 weeks to put an absentee ballot. I mean, if you, but we still need a ballot box for those people that are like 1 day before it closes. You have to run it down and drop it off. But that's good. It's
Maybe
better
they're
than
just going to be
having, like,
thorough with the count. Doesn't take 4 weeks, but hey, we want to make sure we count and double count and audit the count
Well, I
and
was
then
told that
count
the
it again.
absentee ballot only how this,
And then
they
keep
only
counting
count
until
it when it's
Kamala
really
wins.
No, the thing is, they only count it after if it gets close. In other words, they'll count it all the people that voted early, if the people that vote on election day, absentee or just a standby. Because by the time they count those, they have clear winners. If they got 50%, they know how many
Clear
people
winner,
voted
50%.
in total.
That's right.
Right. If they win the 51%, they already got it, whatever the bond issue. So I was told that they only count those when it comes really, really close. So maybe
How much closer
the-
to 50% do you need to get?
I don't know, for each one, like they know how many people casted the ballot. Out of that, it's like the judges knows if there's more yeses than noes on a amendment, constitutional amendment, then the yeses get it. They know by percentage.
That's usually how those things work.
Yeah, that's what a vote is.
The yeses have more than the no's. The yeses win. All right. Glad to see you guys are
They
logging
don't
things
count
properly in New
the
Mexico.
absentee ballots unless they have to do it. I was told that they hold on to it until 10 days before.
If Kamala's
So the
winning, they're
other-
like, we don't
other
need to
ones get
count
counted
anymore.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
If they want the no's to win, they go like, well, the yeses are winning. Well, we got to go count those
I
other
feel
ones.
like they don't have to like fake this in New Mexico. I feel like she's definitely gonna win. And Sarah said that there was like the first day or the first week, right, Sarah, of early voting. She was like way in the lead. Like was like predicted to win just from that.
Oh, I want to call into Sarah Talk Live and ask Sarah a question.
Oh.
Sarah, Bonnie told me that your grandmother grew up in communist North Korea.
Yes, and she was
escaped?
pretty wealthy. And during the war, she had to run for their life to the South Korea, and she witnessed the North Koreans like shooting the wealthy people that wouldn't give up the rice. And
the rich
yeah,
people,
that's
the wealthy people, yeah.
So
that's what I'm telling you. When people get uprising, they get so fed up with like these holy people that just so greedy, and when they have a revolt, they wind up killing all of them.
See, that's how Sarah's brain works. She isn't saying, wow, that's so sad that these people were standing up for their rice that they put their labor and effort into growing, that the government was trying to steal from them. She says, can you believe those greedy people were hoarding rice and the government had to shoot those terrible people? Oh my God. And Sarah's grandma was there and was part of realizing what was going down and ran for her life to not have to deal with that. And Sarah
would have supported the government shooting her grandma.
Yeah, okay, so your grandmother grew up in communist North Korea, and you've heard all of the stories about how terrible her life was and how she had to escape, and you still think communism is good?
But she never grew up in North Korea. She ran out before it turned communist.
Okay, she existed in North Korea.
She witnessed the revolution, though, like them turning
right.
communist.
During the revolution, she had to flee during the war.
So she saw how bad things were getting, that she ran for her life, literally.
And that's what Sarah wants here in New Mexico.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, but the thing is that the rich people are too greedy. You know, I mean, look at you talk about guillotines. I mean, I don't know who was it. Aria talked about it. They had a revolution in France. That was the first revolt. Wasn't Queen Antoinette beheaded? But you know how many?
Those are government agents.
Yeah,
that's a different kind of greed.
I also
that's
I don't
stealing
know.
from people greed, not providing for people greed.
I don't even know that I would think that she should have been specifically guillotined, because like it's not like she set up that. The thing is, I'm not like super interested in the topic and like know all the details. Maybe you know more than me.
Nope.
But it's not like she set up this system and everything. Just like take it away from her, make her go get a real job, and she's gonna be like, this sucks, probably because she grew up in like wealth. But killing her, like that seemed overkill. Unless she was like killing people too, and I didn't know about it.
You gotta send a message.
Queens
That's why I like the
and
Mexican
kings
cartels.
Have been known to like remember the off with their heads. How many kings and queens have people get their head chopped off?
Yeah, if Marie Antoinette was doing stuff like that, maybe I just don't know about that stuff. To
Torturing
me, it seems
people
like
in the dungeon.
Yeah, to me it seems like she's just one of those that sat around and ate cake or whatever. But I could be wrong, totally be wrong.
So there are communist countries that we can look to see how things are going with communism.
North Korea.
Like North Korea. And do you think that these countries are doing a good job?
Well, you know, I never lived in a communist country, but it sounds more fair.
Cuba.
You know, and
For
then
who?
North Korean. Well, I mean, they're supposed to have like you know, they make I mean, we never went to Korea. It might be a very uniform country, you know, where everybody has Medicaid. You know, they make it.
They
really
don't even
bad.
have food.
Yeah, it's fair towards the bottom.
Mm-hmm. Yes,
Right.
everybody lives at the bottom.
You're not going to have 11 valedictorians. You're going to have 11 dropouts.
Well, they're willing to die for communism. Look at those North Koreans going to Russia, ready to get killed in Ukraine. You know, they
I'm
believe
pretty
in
sure they're
communism.
not willing. I'm pretty sure they've been brainwashed into believing that, much like American soldiers.
Also, hey, if you get a chance to leave North Korea, you might be like, "Yep,
defect.
Here I go.
They're going to defect.
I'm never
to the
coming
Ukraine.
back." Right.
This is our chance. Well, except those people probably get they get the rice, right? They shoot the farmers and they keep everyone poor.
And
And
the
then all
cops
those
get
people
the
with
rice.
like the medals, the giant medals across the chest,
Shoot Stoffel or whatever.
they're fine.
Yeah, you get extra rice now.
You get an extra portion of rice.
Mm-hmm. So yes, everything is fair and equal at the bottom. Everyone is
Yes.
at the bottom. Nobody is at the top except for the very top echelon of people.
The elites.
Yes.
The elites get all the communist rice.
Yes.
And the actual communist people starve.
Sarah is not even like really that's different in this thought process than the average person in America. I don't think it's just that she's like so honest about it that it's like funny sometimes. Because like if you look at all those, there's been tons of studies where they've studied like, would somebody do something that is morally wrong to somebody else just because authority told them and no other reason? and then other ones are like, would they do it for some kind of reward? And it's like a very low percentage of people will just say, no, I won't do it. Not even if authority told me to, not even for a reward.
Well, yeah, there's the whole Stanford prison experiment thing.
Yep.
Where they just tortured each other.
The Milgram one is more like just authority.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Both of them.
Yeah, both of them.
Which again is why the defense of your own autonomy is the most important thing.
I totally agree. I think that the number one most important right is to own a gun. Or the right to defend yourself at all.
Tools of self-defense.
Exactly. It doesn't have to be a gun.
So when they come for you, you just put them down and then go about your business.
Yes.
That's it.
Autonomy in all aspects, even in things I don't agree with. I still am like, I would rather have these things that I don't agree with happening than try to say that someone's autonomy should be taken away from them.
Pride parades?
No,
Okay.
abortion.
Just checking.
Abortion, like that's I'm so torn on the abortion conversation because like I think it's wrong to kill a baby.
Yep.
But also I don't want to make the decision for someone else's body and what they're doing with it. So like I just don't want to involve myself in
and you shouldn't
in it.
It's none
you
of
know
your
what
business.
I mean? Like I don't want one, so I'm not going to get one, and so I'm not going to tell anyone else they can't get one.
If you're concerned that the baby killing mother is going to like kill you next, then yeah.
But I do think that it's a bad thing. But like I said, I don't want to impose on anyone else's bodily autonomy.
Even if you're concerned that the baby killing mother is going to kill you next, I think you need to distance yourself, keep her away from your property, but not just. That doesn't give you the right to kill her. One time, Pikla said, if somebody has killed someone else and you have that knowledge in your mind, then you are right to just kill them, even if they've been changed and they're
Does
living.
Pikla still get a voice on this show?
I'm just saying, but he can call in if he wants.
Well, no, because he says that, right? And fine if that's his position, but he's also of position that life begins at the first breath. So there's no baby life until it like is birthed and breathes.
Oh, I wasn't saying that either. I wasn't saying that he said that about abortion.
But if you believe that abortion is killing a baby, but the baby isn't alive until it breathes the first breath, there's a conflict there, and you need to resolve it in your own thought process.
Well, I didn't mean that Pikla said that about abortion. He was saying like if you have the knowledge that someone killed somebody else, like killed another adult or another person that's been born, was the conversation we were having.
Well, it depends, right? Are they a threat to you?
Right.
Was it a crime of passion? Did he catch his wife cheating with another dude?
And I tried to bring that up. I was saying, well, there's such things, and they recognize it in courts, but I wasn't trying to invoke the authority of the court. I was just saying, I was trying to remember it's called like crimes of passion. Like that person is very not likely to like kill again. There's different things they consider about whether or not this person's. And I'm just bringing up a new subject because like you reminded me of that other subject, but yeah, totally changed the conversation here.
That's okay.
That's what we do here.
Yeah.
But if it's a crime of passion and they're not likely to kill you, they're not a threat to you.
Yeah, but if somebody kills someone with an axe in front of you and you see them turn towards you and walk towards you with the axe,
you should
kill
shoot
them.
That's totally
you
different.
should absolutely
Yeah.
draw and see what happens.
Right, because the world is gray and not black and white.
Yes.
Thanks for listening to Free Talk Live. We've been great. You've had a fantastic time.
Hey, you are going to love the movie Victimless Crime Spree. It's hilarious, heartwarming, and carries a ton of inspiring freedom messages. Feeling down about the lack of liberty in your life? You need to put on this film with some friends and have a good laugh. It's a true story about me and my friends in New Hampshire living free, singing, dancing, and getting arrested. Of course, it's all on video, and the bad guys, the cops, judges, bailiffs, and sheriffs, they all play their part like it's out of a movie or something. You would think we scripted the whole thing, but it's real.